Welcome to A to Z Movie Night, episode number 5. Tonight we're doing a holiday special, Die Hard. A to Z Movie Night contains spoilers and bad language and explicit material. You've been warned.
No, these idiot kids.
All you history buffs listening, you know what I'm talking about. You got that reference, man.
I mean, he just laid down on a slab and just died there.
That's a great one, Tim. I got nothing. That's a great one. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
He's like, my name's Zach Bowman, and you know, I just really like movie too. It had nothing to do with my.
And he drank every day starting at 10 o'clock.
Welcome to A to Z Movie Night, where fellow film nerds gather around a bottle of Jameson and watch a movie.
Send us free shit, Jameson.
A to Z, yeah, man, we've been plugging it. A to Z Movie Night contains foul language and may not be suitable for some listeners. This is your warning.
That is very important.
This is the only warning you get.
Yeah.
I am your host, Tim Polstwaite, and I'm here with my two co-hosts, Aaron Barnhill
Yo, what it do?
and Zach Bowman.
Hey.
Merry Christmas Eve, you guys. That's what day it is here in the studio, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, Merry Christmas Eve. Tonight we're watching Die Hard. Die Hard is a 1988 American action thriller directed by John McTiernan and wrote by Shane Black, I think.
Well, this film follows off-duty New York City Police Department officer John McClane, who is caught in a Los Angeles skyscraper during a heist led by Hans Gruber. It was made for $28 million. It grossed over $140 million theatrically worldwide. So this is not. I mean, it is kind of a cult classic, but it's.
I mean, even for 1988, $28 million is not a lot of money.
Yeah,
No, and that's a really good return on investment.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. That's why they're still making them.
I mean, but yeah, I mean, it spawned. I mean, how many have they done? Like 5 now?
They're about to be
five
on.
now.
Yeah.
All right,
or
well,
6.
enough of the talk.
Yeah.
Let's get to
Yeah.
the damn movie.
So, yeah, we're getting into it. This is one of our Christmas films, and I think everybody will agree that this is a Christmas movie.
It's the Christmas.
It's the Christmas movie. And as always, we'll do a countdown, and then we hit play. So if you want to watch along with us, you are more than welcome to do so.
If you'd like to take a shot along with us.
Yeah, we usually start out with a shot, and 3, 2, 1 starts the movie, and we go, guys.
20th Century
We
Fox.
go for liftoff.
Merry fucking Christmas.
What a
some over there.
thing.
Cheers. Merry
Cheers.
Christmas.
Cheers to Monopoly thing going through. Disney owns Fox now. Yay. Does that mean that John McClane is? Does that mean John McClane's a Disney princess now?
Yeah, actually. Absolutely.
I mean, what's your definition of princess?
John McTiernan, we were just talking about it. He directed Predator, and I think he did Lethal Weapon, or Shane Black wrote Lethal
You know
Weapon.
what? I think I was
getting
wrong.
it confused.
I don't know if Shane Black wrote this. I think I
No.
pulled that out of my ass.
Yeah.
Because Shane Black wrote Lethal Weapon. That's my other
Yeah.
Christmas
Well,
movie.
let me pull up the internets here.
So
We're
I
going to
think-
start right away with some fact checking.
So I totally fucked the intro up, but that's okay.
Because Shane Black wrote Predator, and then McTiernan directed
Written
that
by
as well.
Stephen D'Souza and Jeb Stewart.
Yeah.
What did Shane Black write?
Lethal Weapon
Lethal Weapon, Predator.
and Predator.
Yeah, but you can't. There's no way that the guy who wrote Lethal Weapon could write Die Hard in
I know,
this
yeah,
world.
that's why I
in the
fucked up.
universe, you know, because
They're my Christmas.
You can't hit both of those.
They're like my Christmas hardboiled cop movies, so
Yeah.
that's why I got it all jacked
Lethal
up.
Weapon is a Christmas
Kinda,
movie.
yeah. Or
Yeah.
it takes place, yeah.
It takes place in Christmas, yeah.
I remember this scene where
It comes in on like Jingle Bells or
the
something.
drug dealers
Yeah.
selling Christmas trees or selling, it's like a front for drugs or something.
The
something
fist
ridiculous.
with your toes is actually.
That's a real thing,
it's
right?
It's kind of true, I think.
Yeah,
Make a little fist with your toes.
to relax you.
It's
Our
basically
hero,
just
John
stretching.
McClane, basically spends this whole movie shoeless. He's barefoot.
Trust me. Been doing this for a living.
And right away, like
Mm-hmm.
they kind of establish his character through contrast. So he's sitting beside this guy who's kind of a yuppie. I would call him a yuppie. You
He's
know,
a
that's
salesman.
the thing
He's
of
a
the
traveling
time.
salesman.
Yeah, he's and then it's kind of a neat little way to establish character right off the bat.
Well, and
That guy was
Don't
like
worry, I'm a
that was
cop.
the dad from Gremlins, basically. Yeah.
and not the last yuppie we will see in this movie either. But it's really funny because smoking in an airport. That's a sign of the times.
You used to be able to smoke on planes, dog.
Yeah.
The airplanes still have ashtrays.
The first time I was ever on an airplane, yeah, they still had the ashtrays in it, but they were like super glued shut or
Well,
whatever.
they
but
used to have this
They
area
hadn't
in
taken
the
out the
back.
old
I
seats.
don't trust an
yeah.
airplane.
They have this
that
area
old.
in the back to where you would go smoke.
Yeah, the
I
smoking
remember hearing
cabin.
about those.
Yeah. But yeah, right off the bat, this movie is almost like, I don't know, that's not first person. There's another, obviously it's not first person, but like, other than when we see the cop, this is through McClane's eyes almost, how he's and he does this out loud dialogue to himself.
Yeah, he does.
He talks to himself.
He talks to himself
he
throughout the whole
talks.
movie.
It's inner dialogue that he talks out loud.
It's better than soliloquy.
I mean, that's pretty realistic. Do you ever talk to yourself whenever you're like cleaning a house or something like that?
No.
When I'm by myself, not when I'm in public.
I'm not.
No, I didn't
I'm not
say it.
crazy, so no.
Is it crazy to talk to yourself?
Yeah, you need.
I
help.
talk to
Seek
the
help.
voices in my head, but not out loud.
Yeah, not out loud.
Because I don't
That's-
need
that's
to.
what makes- that's
they
the
can hear
difference.
me.
All right, so real quick before we get into the meat of this and
There's
stuff,
a big sleep
stuff starts
ball.
happening that we need to go. I want to go around, do a little round table. Tim, why is this movie Christmas for you?
It wasn't until a couple years ago that when I was younger, I never really thought of this as a Christmas movie.
It seems like it was the last 4 or 5 years with like meme culture and with
Yeah,
kind
exactly.
of the
I think because there's the famous meme that it's not Christmas until I see Hans Gruber fall from Nakatomi Plaza. Spoiler alert. I guess I should have said the spoiler alert
How
before
dare you.
I said the spoiler. But yeah, definitely it has taken on that, and it is. It is a Christmas movie, and again, like we've said with Gremlins and the other one, we didn't want to do a non-traditional Christmas movie.
We're not going to do fucking Rudolph, all right?
Yeah, so don't hold your breath on,
I'm glad we said that warning in the beginning.
Miracle
So I'm
on
going to cut.
Yeah.
34th Street.
I realize that we need those.
Yeah.
I need to put spoilers as part of it too. 'cause
Yeah.
we got a lot of
What
spoilers.
about you guys?
I mean, honestly, even with and it's funny because I usually kind of rail against the tongue-in-cheek, anti kind of stuff. Not so much. I just think it's kind of silly. But even if out of the Christmas context, I would still want to do this movie because it's just a good.
I feel like
it's
this
the foundation. Basically founded Bruce Willis as an action star, right?
Yeah. We've danced around this movie before, I think.
Nah, dude, that
talking
was-
about doing it, not even just as a Christmas movie, but just doing it as an episode.
That was Hudson Hawk, man.
But I mean, yeah, no, that's the thing. It's a good classic movie, and it's even outside of our realm because it's a lot. It's not really a cult classic because it did well in the theaters. You know,
yeah,
it
it's
became
a classic.
it's kind of like almost like Rambo in a way. There's so many.
It was a
six
success
seven
from the
of them.
beginning,
All right,
yeah.
So that's funny. That's a little segue for me into my Christmas because a lot of Christmases. So I kind of marathon a few things, and this is one of the movies that really get me in the Christmas mood. And you
One
said
of my
Rambo.
favorite shots of the whole film's coming up in a second. I'll point it out.
And you said Rambo because I actually watched this in Rambo.
Right there.
Oh, I wonder why. I wonder why that's a good shot.
And he's just straight up staring at her ass in public.
Well, the stewardess gave him the eyes too. He's a ladies' man.
But what were you
sitting
saying,
on
Aaron? I'm sorry.
I was saying like it's just kind of a thing.
Why
for me.
Rambo?
I don't know. I like certain action movies like around Christmas time because I have to balance out my binging of like a Christmas Story with something else, and it just so happens it's like Rambo, it's Die Hard, and Die Hard 2 because
Which Rambo? First Blood.
Rambo.
Die Hard
First
2 takes
Blood
place at
Part 2
Christmas
mostly.
also.
and then the new one.
Which one?
Yeah.
Takes place?
Die Hard 2 is
two is
during
also a
Christmas too,
Christmas
yeah,
movie.
because it's snowing and shit. And, yeah.
It's like even more Christmassy. But no, it's the modern Rambo I like to watch because it's the goriest one.
yeah, that one's so
But,
brutal.
But no, man, this movie, I think it's super Christmas to me because it's at its heart, it's like a family movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's,
This kinda
and
is
it's
a family movie
It's
in a way.
it's a family movie. Like
A real family, yeah. They're
real family,
separating. Yeah. He's got a daughter. You never see the daughter. You hear him talk about her. They're going through a separation. Obviously, the marriage is strained.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
strange because he's a cop.
Yeah.
Like,
This
that's the
movie
thing.
was kind of in the middle of that time period where like
6 months.
what was that movie with Eddie Murphy, Beverly Hills Cop, and wasn't
48
Beverly,
hours with
48
him and Nick
Hours,
Nolte. Yeah. Anti-heroes. Big started becoming a thing.
but it was Cop. It was like you know what do you say, hardball detective, but it was like
But not hardball.
wisecracking, you know, get
Right.
the job done. Cops was like a big thing in this time period. For
And
whatever
this
reason.
also kind of has a element of a buddy cop thing to it, even though they're never together. It's only him and Winslow over the radio.
yeah.
They have some.
Why didn't you come?
Well, we'll get to those where the action
I mean,
stops and he
Winslow's-
starts telling this cop about
Winslow's
his divorce.
is like the main supporting actor, you would say, right?
yeah,
he's-
the
yeah,
guy
he's-
on the guy on the outside.
As
yeah.
a protagonist, you got Alan Rickman as the
Yeah.
antagonist, and then he's
I would say Alan Rickman is a protagonist. He's the one with the plan.
Antagonist.
He's the one that. Well, I would say protagonist because he's the one that gets. Oh, Jean de Bonk.
No,
Oh,
technically,
wow.
Bruce Willis is the antagonist to his plan.
Yeah, because he's got a plan. He comes in, and then McClane's the one that fucks it up all. Like tape.
That'll work.
No.
And then this is the very famous Run DMC Christmas song. Was it Christmas in Hollis? What's the name of this song?
I don't know. Give me some heat on it, Zach. Give me some heat.
Yeah,
Turn it up.
Turn up the bass of my headphones.
Turn that shit up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, dude. Just any
Double check the name of that song.
any
It's
hip hop
in
Christmas
Hollis.
songs or anything like that. Just I cannot
How
stand
dare
it.
you? How dare you?
Joel Silver was producer on this, who back at this time, I mean, shit, any action movie, Joel Silver probably was attached to it in some form. I believe he was
producing
Lethal
it?
Weapon, and yeah,
Yes,
he was a big producer back then.
Christmas in Hollis by
Christmas
Run
in
DMC.
Hollis, yeah.
Work out, man. You got a place to stay?
So the main theme from the finale is it's the main theme of the
Ode
movie
to Joy.
is Ode to Joy by
Yeah,
Beethoven.
it's reprised several times in this
Take your
film.
bags to the desk. You strike out, I'll get you a hotel.
When Beethoven did Ode to Joy, he probably never knew that it was going to be
You signed for
the theme song for these.
You know who
German
who I'd love
terrorists.
to have on like for an interview is anybody who scores films. That would be amazing.
I'm gonna
thing
try and I'll call up Hans Zimmer tomorrow and see what he's doing.
That'd be awesome.
Oh,
Thank
that'd be
you.
great. Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't like to impose and like.
Yeah,
you know,
I don't mean to name drop.
I'm not
but,
trying to use you,
know,
you know, Tim.
I
For your
can't make any
connects.
promises. I'll see what he's up to.
I'll tell you that. So we
Christmas is a
just
busy
witnessed the most unbelievable part of the entire movie.
The 16-year-old limo driver.
that a limo driver would wait for you in the garage for hours to see if you have a place to stay. They'd be like, "No,
Oh,
homie,
yeah.
I'm gone." It's like,
No, he's getting paid. You know, it's like his wife is paying for. His wife is super loaded, I'm sure, but she's paying for everything. So he's gonna sit and soak up them hours.
Yeah, he's not on the cop salary.
I guess
yet.
you're
It's
right.
gonna be.
Hell yeah.
I guess you're right.
He's like, just wait for me.
The
yeah.
clock's ticking.
I mean,
if he gets paid by the hour,
in the
he
later
don't give a shit.
In the later scenes, he's just talking to bitches and hanging out in the limo. You
Yeah.
know, like
Like drinking the
So this is-
champagne
this
and
is-
shit or something.
This is the part where he's going through the building's directory on a touchscreen and figured out
That
his
she's using
wife,
her maiden
she's
name.
using her god
Yeah.
dang maiden name.
He's like, fuck, she's serious.
so.
It may be too late to talk her out of
The
this.
premise is they separated, or they're separated. She's working across the.
well, she's
Plus, can we mention that this was 1988
Yeah.
and there was a touch screen?
and she's a career woman. I don't know if y'all know
That's
this,
crazy.
but
Career
in
woman.
1988, it was not a woman's place to stay at home.
Yeah.
She got offered a job in L.A. and he lives in New York. Fuck that.
She took
I'm-
that job?
I'm taking that job,
He said,
Why don't you
I'm a
follow
New York
me?
cop.
Why
I'm
don't
a
you
New York-
follow
I'm
me,
staying
baby?
in New York.
baby. You can get
can't
a
leave her.
job.
She should have stayed where
LAPD
she
will
belonged.
hire you. LAPD to hire you, baby.
There,
you
I got
come with
my
me.
misogynistic joke out of the way.
This is your one per episode.
It's like, oh, what? She's got shoulder pads. Okay.
Oh, I see how it is.
Dope ass limo.
What was the movie where it was probably Arnold? I think it was Arnold Schwarzenegger, where the little boomerangs that were always on the back of those limos.
That was
Was
Crocodile Dundee.
Was it? He pulls it off and
That's
throws
right,
it at somebody.
It's like, hey, I thought you said you weren't an Aborigine. I just want to go ahead and throw this out there for any females with a bright future in executives that are listening. If you want to get with me, I will move wherever you want to move.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like,
I'll keep
like,
the house
I will,
clean.
I will
I
take
will
care
cook-
of you,
I will
baby,
cook
if you
you-
take care of me. Okay,
3-course meals every night.
I'll put babies inside of you.
I will.
I'll
All the
stay home
time.
and watch the kids.
I
I'll
will
do
it.
yoga, keep my booty tight for you. You know, like all that stuff.
I will be a great kept man. I'm just letting you know. So any ladies that are like Exxon executives or stuff, I'll travel for you.
I'll travel.
Yeah,
you ain't gotta leverage your career against mine. You
Can't emasculate me.
I'll dress up like a fucking maid. I don't care. Just
If that's what you're
Help
into.
me.
fuck
Where do
it.
you want me when you come home?
Oh, they're trying to show off L.A. right now, talking about dudes kissing.
He keeps saying that. Fucking California. Dudes kissing dudes.
That's so wild, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, let's.
That,
he-
that hadn't
he's
gotten
a-
to the East Coast yet.
he's a New York. He's a New York cop.
Yeah, he's in New York.
Yeah.
Joe Takagi.
Nice.
Yeah, because
Nice.
by the time we get to the third film, I think they are officially divorced by then, and
Yeah.
he's like suspended. But yeah, they're actually back in New York by that film.
Oh, that's a
Told
bummer.
him to fax some documents. He should be back any minute. In the
In
meanwhile,
the second film, they're in a
That's an airport.
It's an airport in like Lexington or something, like Virginia or some shit. But over there.
This
Oh,
guy.
Wonder what he was just doing.
Yeah.
Hey.
I want you to meet John McClane.
He's got his...
Holly's husband.
Like, if you're doing coke in your office, lock your door. But I guess this was the 80s. Like,
Yeah, it's the 80s. Fuck it.
nobody gave a shit.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
For the heck
I mean, you know that guy does coke. Look at that suit.
Miss something.
I want a suit like that.
I don't know the actor. I mean, I don't think I ever saw him in anything else, but he plays this
Sweet.
role.
Watered down champ.
To the T.
I mean, God.
Hart Bachner.
Immediately, you're like, God, I hope this guy dies.
Sleazy. Super sleazy.
Oh, sleazy, cokehead, douchebag, womanizer. I mean,
Well, it's
check
not-
all the boxes.
I don't think it's sad. I think it's because he's Weasley. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
It's not-
Like, he's not
sleazy.
honest. He's a shit face.
He has a shiny suit.
Yeah.
I don't trust anybody in a shiny suit.
He's got shoulder pads, man. I don't trust a guy with shoulder pads.
I mean, I can handle douchebags, and in a lot of cases, like a douchebag can be pretty endearing to me as a character as they're written sometimes. But it's this guy. It's because he's like,
He's slimy.
He's Weasley.
Yeah.
He's like.
He's obviously super rich, and you know he didn't get that way legitimately. He's a piece
shit,
of he's rude to everybody that
You know
he
what?
encounters.
I'm gonna use this word. He's a fucking cuck. That's what it is. That's why I
Probably.
don't like him. He's a cuck.
Behind closed doors. He's probably into some weird
shit.
shit.
Show him the watch.
I think Weasel's more accurate. He did voice. He had a voice role in Mask of the Phantasm, Batman.
It's just a small.
Oh, that's
the
dope.
fuck out.
That's dope.
You don't have to be so patronizing, Tim.
Shit,
No, that's
dog.
That's
hey,
awesome.
no, Mask of the Phantasm is a Christmas movie.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, I
it
forgot
is.
about that, dog.
That's an awesome animated movie. I saw that in the theater. That actually got
You
a
saw it in the theater?
it
No
got a
shit.
theatrical release.
did.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the first entrances for me into Batman animated. Because that was in '93, and then the animated series came.
It was around the same time.
Yeah, around the same
that was
time, so-
play on it.
He thought he was God's.
He's already in that
Dang,
wife
man.
beater.
I went to the store to get like some beers. I almost bought one of the wife beaters.
Of course, they
it's-
sell wife
but
beaters
somebody-
at that fucking gas station.
But then somebody walked in, and I was like, I got embarrassed, so I didn't do it.
Of course, they sell wife beaters. There.
But I do
Jesus
have.
Christ.
I'm close.
Captain Roberts retired out here.
I think I could tell why women really liked Bruce Willis in the 80s because he's like kind of jacked, but he's also like just really normal. He's just
Well,
a really
he's
normal
an
dude.
everyman.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that.
I could be in the car half.
I'll wait. I'll wait. Yeah, but I'm gonna touch on that more later when
Spare
once
bedroom. It's not
the action gets going.
or anything.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he's relatable. He's an everyman. He's not. No, fuck it. I'm gonna say it now. He's not James Bond.
Yeah.
He gets hurt. Like other than like Indiana Jones, John McClane and Indiana Jones are like the everyman heroes. Like they get hurt. They get beat up.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Indiana Jones gets his fucking ass kicked all the time.
He gets his punch face.
Yeah, he
innumerable
gets.
times.
He's not perfect like James
He
Bond or
bleeds.
the other people like Rambo.
Well, I think
who
even
can just stand there and a machine gun can shoot at him and nothing
even
hits
Indiana
him.
Jones and him aren't really similar in the same. Their drive is a little different.
Well, no, I'm not talking about their motivations
No,
or
but
anything like
it's-
that. But they're fallible. They're
Well,
not.
it's that character who like he's in a continuing shitty situation and he's like,
He's just
well,
dealing
this is
with
what
it.
we gotta fucking do now. Like,
That's what's something we talk about all the time. And again, it's something that I don't think we did this on purpose. But a lot of these movies we talk about, the hero is the reluctant hero.
yeah.
They're not a superhero like Emilio Estevez in Maximum Overdrive, Kurt Russell in The Thing. You know, they're not these badass James Bond Rambo guys. They're decent all around, guys that got thrust into these situations, and they're just dealing with it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all he does this whole movie is just deals with one situation after the other.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't go well. He fucking bleeds.
I think that's
He can be hurt.
the admirable part is like he doesn't bitch and moan about anything. He's just like, oh, this is what we gotta do now. So
Yeah, might as well deal with it. We're stuck here. I think this is one of the first action movies where you actually really saw the hero bleed and get hurt, and you were worried like, oh shit, he's not fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right.
You know,
Well, they make him vulnerable in a lot of places. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll comment
yeah.
on it as it happens.
well, I mean, they're setting
but
his character up with his wife leaving him.
right.
you know?
Yeah. They're making him
they're,
human,
they're making him highly relatable.
highly relatable.
I'm
yeah.
sitting here watching this right now, going like, man, I like this guy.
Well,
Yeah.
he's a nice guy. Women like him. He's nice to people. He's
I'm like, this guy
respectful.
fucks.
Well,
yeah.
already with just the few interactions with his wife right there, you can tell that he doesn't want to separate with her.
Yeah.
I mean, they've already, and with just little nuances of his character, you can tell that he doesn't want that. He's come back he's come from New York to L.A. because he wants to try and reconcile. That's why he's there.
Yeah, it's good writing.
He's there to try and save their marriage, and he's worried that she's past that already.
All he's got to do is transfer, dog. It's easy.
Yeah.
Just
I'm pretty
transfer,
sure
bro.
She probably already told you.
Yeah.
There's one way to save this, and it's fucking move.
Transfer, bro. Ain't that big a deal. I mean, the Bloods and the gangs in the 80s were pretty bad in LA, but it's still cool. Just transfer.
This is another example of
2 points.
every bad guy on the team is very niche.
Yeah.
Or like
yeah.
you'd be like, okay, the black guy's the nerd
He has
hacker
glasses.
guy.
It's not that he's.
Yeah.
The guy with glasses is the nerdy guy.
So
Well,
he's
also-
the guy that, bam, nerd. I'm gonna hack the security system.
Also, he's the outsider because he's the only black dude, and everyone else is very blonde, Central
Swedish.
European.
Well,
Wait, what
yeah.
Are they? What are they supposed to be?
They're German.
Germans,
yeah, Gruber, yeah. I gotta give Hans credit on being very diverse when hiring his henchmen. He makes sure that
Yeah.
he's got an Asian guy, he's got a black guy, he's got a Swede.
He hires by the abilities, not by color of their skin.
Most Germans,
The union guy.
learned their lesson in 1945. So
Yeah.
Okay, so the guy. No, you said
got
you said something
swagger.
about the writing. The guy that
Man.
one of the co-writers of this also wrote
Alan
The
Rickman.
Fugitive,
Oh wow.
which is pretty.
one of the
decent.
what now? Wait, what?
The two guys that wrote it, they wrote The Fugitive. They wrote Hudson Hawk, Judge Dredd, and Commando. Between the two, and Street Fighter. Steven Souza, he did Street Fighter, which is coming out. We're gonna put that out in January, right?
Oh, he wrote Street Fighter, huh? Oh,
So what would you say?
I would have to say he did not connect.
There we go.
And guess what? He Steven Souza also wrote 48 Hours. How about that?
Yeah, that sounds right.
I love how
Man,
people
this-
used to like portray hacking back in the day.
Yeah.
Like he's just
The,
typing away on this terminal,
Like that's what it would do, yeah.
Yeah. Like, bro, you just go flip a switch, dog.
What could you find out what's the actual name of the building
Of
that
the
they
tower?
use for Nakatomi?
Like the real world.
Yeah.
It's the 20th Century Fox building.
Is
now.
it really?
That's what it is now.
It's not like Google or something. It's
No,
not the
it's-
Google
it's-
headquarters or
It's
something.
the Fox. It's the Fox building.
Yeah, 20th Century Fox Plaza in Century City.
Hey, yo.
And external and internal scenes, so they did it all on location, I
It's
guess.
all on location.
Oh, and at the time of filming, the building was still under construction, so the setting for the scene where he was on the unfinished floor was
real.
Wow. And whenever that room was done, it became the office of former President Ronald Reagan. So the room that he's in that's under construction became Ronald Reagan's office. That's kind of fun.
See,
That's weird.
when I want weird pop science facts, Tim, I'll come to you. But if you ever want architectural shit, you come to me, boy. Hey,
For show.
Right.
Noted.
noted. Need me to name a building, I'll do it.
Name a building.
That's kind of
I
cool.
want you to name a building after me.
Eh.
This is
Tim. It's just going to say Tim on it.
Just Tim. Black. This is. I like how when films do this, like, okay, we obviously know these guys are all bad guys. We're not sure why they're there yet. But we're sitting here going, oh no, John, put a shirt on and some shoes, man. Shit's about to get
Yeah,
real.
stop making fists with your toes.
Well, I mean, you got to think like he's showing up at this really swanky, nice thing. He's thinking he's about to settle. He's settling in. Long
Dog,
flight.
I'd be in one of those nice.
Like how long's the flight
bathrobes.
from New York to Los Angeles? Like 6 hours.
Oh.
Like that's a long flight.
8 hours, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be in one of those.
Well, plus he's hiding in the room because there's this big swanky party going on with all
And
these
he don't
yuppies.
fit in. He don't
yeah,
fit in
he's
with
like,
that.
man, I don't fit in with these people.
Yeah, the dude, this sleazy
just
guy
gonna-
doing blow and all that.
Yeah, he's like, I'm just going to hang out in the room because I'm not going to go make small talk with these people. And that's the only reason.
I'm here for my wife.
Yeah. That's the only reason why he is able to escape when they start taking hostages.
There for his wife and his kids.
Yes.
His daughter, she's there, I think.
Who we don't. No, I don't.
He said his wife said something about the kids that they want to see him.
Yeah. I'm not sure the daughter is there.
Well, that's the thing we were talking about. He's
That's
actually
how-
he's actually.
I mean, we know he has.
So, oh, see, and that's how we figure out they're German. You just heard him speaking German.
But I mean, that's we were saying he's actually a decent guy because like he didn't want her to go, and he was like, well, if you're gonna go, take the kids so you can have the kids. You know, like he's been sacrificing to figure this thing out.
Yeah.
Our guy?
Back, you there?
And I don't know if these two guys are brothers. I don't know if they expressed that well enough. But that's a big motivation for that guy.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
There's probably some
Later
cut
on.
scenes where they're doing like a handshake or some shit. Some whatever German.
He says, "Be careful, bro." Alan Rickman comes with his swagger in this movie, and they do a very good job of, as you see more and more of him, he's not a one-dimensional bad guy like I'm here to take all your money bad guy.
Well,
There's levels to his motivation.
I feel like we're jumping the gun though, because
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
he
just,
isn't-
yeah, maybe a little bit, but yeah,
You know.
I mean, I'll just say we're seeing them do their thing, and
yeah.
every time Alan Rickman's on the screen, it's just
There's a lot of fuckery going on right now. There's like systems overtaking. People are like working on building systems and locking it down, and then there's Uzis. So you're
Yeah.
trying to figure out, you're like, when you're watching this, you're like, the fuck are
Oh,
these
look,
people's
look.
mo-
Oh, titties.
titties!
yeah. Was he doing coke?
Well,
on
you know,
her
one thing-
titties?
one-
Or are they fucking?
A big this movie would be pretty different from the beginning
It's a
because
straight-up
if he
ponytail.
was traveling now, would he be able to carry a gun on a plane as a New York City cop?
Well, the guy that he was sitting next to in the plane saw the gun under his jacket, and he got all nervous when he noticed his
I
gun.
mean, they
in
could
the-
probably still carry guns on planes if they're a police officer, right?
Yeah, it was '88. There was,
I mean, I'm saying now.
well, not now, no,
Maybe.
Police
No.
officers, they can.
unless it's a sky marshal.
I mean, it's a federal. Maybe you can only federal people can bring them.
Because
Yeah.
if there was a terrorist on board, they could overtake him and steal their gun. That's
It's actually pretty easy to fly with your gun. You just have to have a TSA. You just have a TSA lock that you can buy from any gun
and
place,
they store it underneath.
and they store it in the cargo area. But it's just a TSA lock.
I
a
don't know,
trigger
man.
lock.
I don't even know if that's a thing anymore. Because I remember when I was young, flying up to Portland.
It's
I
a
had
thing.
maybe if you're an officer. Oh, yeah.
No, even if you're a hunter, like that's what hunters have to do.
Well, I was a kid, and I'm still mad about this to this day. I had a
get-
pair of toy magic handcuffs that you
Yeah.
push the button and then you could get out of your handcuffs, and they fucking confiscated my handcuffs.
Why would they confiscate handcuffs?
I don't know, man. You tell me. I was fucking
toys.
like,
You could just bust it out.
I was like 12 years old, and they took my handcuffs. Said I couldn't get on the plane with toy magic handcuffs because what I was going to this 12-year-old kid was going to handcuff the pilot and hijack the plane.
That's
Okay, so off-duty municipal and state police officers are not allowed to carry firearms into a commercial airplane. Some federal
state
officers,
officer can't?
Some federal officers can, but no municipal or state city.
so
or
FBI agents can do it. That's
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
It was a lesson in the real use of power.
He makes several.
You will be witnesses.
I'm about to sneeze, but he quotes several things in this movie. It's really funny that he misquotes
Oh yeah.
the things that he's quoting.
Does he really?
Yeah, there's a big one later on. I'll point it out.
He's making himself out like a zealot right now too.
Yeah.
Like he's espousing all this like idealistic shit.
Yeah, he does a lot of posturing and
Yeah.
Well, they're playing a game. They're trying to
In turn,
they're trying to set themselves up as terrorists, but
Right,
they're
right.
actually robbers.
Hey yo, it's a heist.
University of California.
well, he gets mad when somebody calls him a terrorist. Look at the douchebag guy.
He is fucking geeked out, dude.
Yeah, he's all
He's like,
sweaty.
God damn it! I left a bag in my fucking office.
Yeah. It's like, I hope they don't steal my coke, bro.
MBA, Harvard, 1970.
That guy actually looks like the producer Joel Silver I was talking about.
Nakatomi Trading,
The cokehead
Chairman,
sleazy guy that you
Nakatomi Investment Group.
You know what's funny? They have like quite a bit of Asian actors in this scene, and the one they picked to be Mr. Takagi looks white as shit.
Hey, he
think
looks
that's fun.
familiar too. Like he was
The
in
only
some
thing I
other
found that
things.
was like a pretty big thing that he did was he's been in a lot of TV throughout the years, but he did the voice of the general in Mulan.
Huh.
Oh shit. Okay.
But he's like a known face in television.
There's one y'all probably recognize him. I'm surprised we haven't gotten a clear shot of him yet. One of the henchmen.
See, that's Takagi. Look how white he looks.
I think he's
well,
in
it's
this
a different time
elevator.
and place, you know.
He looks Italian, not Japanese. To
The
me.
little
Nice suit.
the little nuances in Alan Rickman's character. He's not like a bad dude, really. I mean, he's obviously a bad dude, but they're not really there to like murder people.
But that's a big point though, is that, you know, if anybody else had read those lines and played that character, like he probably embellished a lot and made it his, like he makes that character what it is.
Yeah,
like, he's such
you
a
would
great
think
actor.
that he'd been playing villains for 20 years because he does it so
Right.
well.
I mean, is
It
it
makes a three-dimensional
right
character.
to say that it would take a better actor to play a villain than to play a good guy?
Well, English actors
Absolutely.
they're good at this quote he does right here. Alexander,
saw the breadth of his domain, he wept, for
because there were no more worlds to conquer. That's a complete misquote.
Benefits of a classical
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
education.
Yeah, but playing the hero isn't. It's not exactly. I mean, Bruce Willis is awesome, yeah, but it's not exactly the toughest job.
Nick models when I was a boy.
Oh, no, well, actors always say that it's a lot more fun to play the bad guy. Because the bad guys have all the good lines.
And the ticks and
Yeah. The bad guys have all the good dialogue because they got to do their grandstanding and all that stuff. A lot of actors will always tell you that it's more fun to be the bad guy.
Well, my favorite actor of all time is one of the best villains of our generation. Is Gary Oldman.
Yeah, oh yeah.
His
That
biggest
guy
roles
can-
have been villains.
Yeah, that guy can play a bad guy.
I could talk about.
And of course, famously, Alan Rickman played the Sheriff of Nottingham in
Oh, yeah.
the Kevin Costner Robin Hood times.
I loved him in
Prince of
Dogma.
Thieves.
I thought he was amazing
Dogma,
in
yeah,
Dogma.
yeah.
Well, I liked him in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Rip.
Never heard of it.
Rest in peace, Alan Rickman.
Well, I guess we should say rest in peace
Here's
to
to
Alan Rickman.
here's to our boy. If you're listening, take a shot for him.
Computer?
Whenever he passed away, it was really surprising because he wasn't that old.
Yeah, he was young.
Hey, did you guys see that computer terminal? How it was like DOS based?
Yeah.
It's funny that computer technologies didn't advance from this to Alien, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't that
Yeah,
weird?
It's the green screen.
It's true. Yeah.
It's the
Oh dear, I'm really not interested in
black screen with green
The green.
The terminal, yeah.
letters on it.
Everything was green.
Well, I had to say that because it is called green screen.
because I
Like
am
the industry
interested in
is
fixing
like it's like POS systems and stuff like that. They call it
Yeah.
green screen, but
Yeah.
also green screen is the.
Well, that's why the Matrix chose to do all the coding in their thing to be green.
Oh, you know what you know what that was actually? All that
With
text.
The text. and
Well,
the
yeah,
language.
but I mean, the reason they chose green,
Right,
but
but
the
do you know
text
what-
was
do you know
like
what it
a
actually was?
recipe or some shit.
It was a recipe book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who said
Easy Chinese cooking.
So it was Chinese letters.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It was
mixed
like,
in with.
Well, because that's something I never
gibberish.
thought of. That's something I
it was
never.
easy everyday Chinese cooking.
That's
It was
something I never
literally
thought about.
a
Is like
recipe book.
they would have to make it come out on that. Like they would have to have the characters in the computer, and they probably didn't have. They couldn't create character font. You didn't have fonts really for that technology,
It was
so they
just-
probably had
yeah.
to. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Him sloking around, being sexy like a mink.
It's crazy how he has
The code.
somehow knew exactly where to go find them.
Useless to you. The seventh.
Well, everybody's being quiet. You just
Only one of them.
Yeah, I guess that's true. They're all.
Then there's no reason not to
They think they've got everybody.
yeah, just
locked
follow
up.
the sound.
But you're in a damn building like that. Like, sure you didn't want to like maybe go check around more?
Nah, it's overconfidence.
Maybe there's probably two other henchmen some right now that got the shit job of going floor to floor.
Well, and here's something to think about. He's a New York cop. He's very experienced in navigating tall buildings. And in Los Angeles, they have a law against building skyscrapers in the city proper. So there's not very many.
What's that about?
Earthquakes.
It wasn't.
Oh, well, yeah.
A mayor or the governor or somebody signed some decree back in the early days of that city.
They don't
Because
have
they didn't want to mess up the. Not the skyline. They didn't. There was some reason they put that in place.
Get to Tokyo to ask the
Well, no, there's a height restriction. There was
Yeah.
a height restriction because of earthquakes.
Earthquakes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh shit!
Shit.
That was a good
Do it the hard way. Charlie,
good shot. Hey,
Merry Christmas, everyone!
that behind him shot, the brains spraying on the glass was pretty good.
Have we seen any Christmas B-roll? Was that in the beginning? Was there any?
Yeah.
Well, you saw the big Christmas tree down in the party.
Oh yeah, that's right.
There's like no.
They played
yeah,
Ode to
It's a
Joy
Christmas
already
party. The
a
whole
little
thing is
bit.
a Christmas party.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. Yeah.
We heard a
Which
little sample of Ode to Joy.
It's probably that's the other satisfying thing about this movie is that it's a Christmas party which most people probably dread, company Christmas
Yes,
parties,
the
and then
company Christmas party.
they murder your boss in the beginning of the movie.
I'm not gonna dread this Christmas party. There's free Coke and you get to fuck your coworkers. It looks pretty awesome.
Yeah,
to me.
they were having a good time.
They were
A lot
having
of
a
them
great
seemed to be
Christmas
really
party.
It seemed like a
enjoying
pretty
themselves.
liberal environment. I kind of like that. Yeah.
Kind
A lot
of
of
it's kind of like what happens at the Thirsties Christmas party. I always have sex with Tim.
we're just putting that out there now. Huh?
What's? I mean,
Just,
I mean,
nope,
Colin.
Nope, it's out there in
I
the
mean-
pantheon. There's probably a lot of sexual harassment going on in that Christmas party.
I mean,
Guys, I thought we
have
talked
sex
about
with
like
myself.
keeping your spats off
all
of the
these,
air.
I'm sorry. I meant I have sex
all
with
these
myself.
CEOs and all these slimy guys.
Like it was
doing
awkward enough
coke.
with Chris, like and his involvement with all y'all. I mean, I know there was that falling out with him and Tim kind of had a thing for a little bit, but
We don't
I thought
talk
we'd
about
gotten
those
past
days,
that.
though.
I thought we've
we
gotten
come
past
to
all this.
an
Yeah.
understanding. But like all these CEO guys, these entitled, like the sleazeball guy, they're doing coke and then they go back out of their office to the Christmas party and they start grabbing the girls' butts and stuff. Like, hey, come on, come back in my office, and like, no, Mister Whatever, like, you want to have a job next year?
Oh, gross.
Like, I mean,
Oh, totally. He was playing those games. Sleazy guy?
yeah, the sleazy guy, yeah.
For sure.
It's not you want to have a job. It's do you want to raise?
Well, yeah.
Do you want to go
that,
anywhere in
yeah.
this company?
I thought you said I would get a raise. I was talking about this dick.
He's like,
You
it's,
ain't getting
it's
nothing.
almost the new year. He's trying to get his sexual harassment quota in before
It's
the
almost a
end
new
of the
quarter,
year.
man. You're getting bonuses this time of year.
Yeah.
You want that bonus?
You
coming?
want that bonus?
You want that bonus? Because there's different things. There's different Christmas parties. Do you do it before Christmas or after Christmas?
Is this the family Christmas party or is this the
No, this is
employees
definitely
this is the
only?
coked up
employees
This is
only.
the employees only.
Ain't no-
We're gonna make
kids
we're
this
gonna
one.
we're gonna make some memories tonight.
Yeah.
Kinda,
And this is the one before they dole out the Christmas bonuses too, because everyone's happy and no one's sad.
yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah.
Trust me.
They haven't done any passed out any pink slips yet.
Because then you'd be dead too, asshole.
That's a big feature.
See,
That's a big feature of the whole tower too. Is a lot of it that he explores is still under construction.
Yeah.
So a lot of this stuff. A lot
Well,
of
I
this
think
floor is great.
for his character motivation, he goes up there because he's like, I know I'm not going to run into them. They got no business up in these unfinished floors, so he can walk around and
Well, he can figure
Talk to
shit
him-
out.
yeah,
he
talk
can
to
see if he can
himself
see if
like
he can
he's
find a map of the place or
yeah. And it's silly that he talks
also
out loud to himself, but they're doing that for the audience,
Yeah.
so that
What's
we
that-
know what's
going on.
what's going through his
it's,
head.
It's almost like a
What's his plan?
Like it's almost like a plot handicap, like they did the Blade Runner where they added the narration.
Yeah, I mean it's a cop out,
But it's a part of his character.
It works. Yeah,
It's a cop out.
it works so that we know what his plan is because we're like, fuck, what are you
I
gonna
hate
do?
that made me laugh so much.
Because oh shit, what I was gonna say? There's something that he's
I kiss your fucking Dalmatian.
there's several moments in this movie
Oh, you stupid.
where they do a back and forth like,
fucking truck around.
okay, the bad guys don't know he's free in the building,
Yeah.
but we do. Then there's moments where they flip that, and I'll point a few out where actors or characters are interacting, and you're like,
Well, right now they're
You're wondering-
fighting, but they don't know. That they're
yeah,
fighting.
they keep flipping it like you wonder like who actually has the upper hand right now? Like,
It's well.
is he
no, it's total cat and mouse.
yeah, is he got this
Like,
or
almost literally. Yeah.
Yeah, it's total cat and mouse.
yeah, and they do that 2 or 3 times where you're like, okay, who actually has got the upper hand?
Fire has been called off, my friend.
Moin friend.
No one is coming to
I
help
want
you.
to get that guy's glasses frames. You think this would look good on me? I could grow my hair out just like that.
It kind of reminded me of you like 8 years ago, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe less than that.
The
maybe
hair.
6 years ago.
I promise I won't hurt
If
you.
I was jacked.
You're more handsome now. I'll give you that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No, yeah, you're way more handsome though.
Oh yeah, I'm way more handsome. That dude's
None of those bullets ricocheted off the fucking concrete that he shot out 3 feet from his toes.
Yeah, well.
What's in the bag, Hans?
Drop it, dickhead.
I'm guessing that's the little brother.
This is yeah.
You won't hurt me.
This is kind of like Home Alone for grown-ups.
Policeman. There are
He's trapped in this building with these terrorists, and he has to kind of improvise and do things like distractions with saw blades. This is the grown-up Home Alone. You're welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I just
So,
put that together.
if you're ever in a
Kevin
situation,
McAllister,
if you're ever in a situation where like there's a gunman around and you have a gun, never walk up to them. Like distance is your friend. Never give them the opportunity to get the gun back unless you're writing an action movie.
that was easy. The guy just kind of had a neck snap as he fell down the stairs. Yeah, I guess they do that so that the good guys stay good guys in movies.
They do that so they can have a talk with each other.
Well,
that's what it is.
Or also like the good guy's got the drop on the bad guy. The bad guy's got his back to him.
Yeah.
He doesn't see the good guy behind him. All the time in movies, the good guy will be like, "Hey, psst."
Right.
And then they turn around and then they shoot him.
Yeah.
Well, not even
they don't want to
shoot
shoot him in the back.
Yeah.
Like they don't want to shoot him in the back.
Well,
Or
he
they'll,
didn't want to shoot him at all. He
They'll
tried
tap
to just...
him on the shoulder and be like,
No,
"Hey."
I'm gonna stay like 15 feet away. I'd be like, "Hey, bro.
Yeah.
I got a gun on you. Don't turn around."
Yeah.
And if they turn around, I'm gonna shoot them.
Yeah, you should be like, if you turn around,
I'm gonna shoot you.
I'm gonna shoot you.
I don't need to put a gun like to your body for you.
The
to
whole
know.
gun to the head thing is yeah.
Yeah, God, that's the
Probably
dumbest thing in the
pretty
world.
bad idea.
Because it's
But
it's actually pretty easy to get out of that.
It's so they can have a conversation. You know.
It's you got to open up rooms for one-liners, you know.
Or give the good guy a chance to
Now he's like
regain the upper hand.
Now it's like, "What's up, you guys? I got a motherfucking submachine gun now."
That's
and
such
a Zippo.
He chose such a. They have such a weird color palette for terrorists, you know, like
Gray?
Shouldn't they be wearing black? Like he's wearing like sweatpants, like.
He looks very
well,
2018,
because they all had to
actually.
basically walk in the front door, so they wanted to kind of look inconspicuous. If they all came in all dressed in black, you know.
He really does look like he's dressed in H&M fall collection. He looks very 2018.
He looks like the old Saturday Night Live skit. We came to pump you up.
Oh.
They always had the gray sweatsuits on. Is that before y'all's time? Yeah.
No, I remember
That didn't get as big a laugh as I was hoping.
That was Dana Carvey and Kevin.
Because they were
Nealon.
even playing. Well,
They were
I guess
playing Germans.
those are Austrians.
Austrians, yeah.
Same thing.
I thought you were gonna say Stewart because you kind of look like Stewart. Wait, was Stewart Mad TV?
Yeah, it was Matt TV.
Oh,
No,
shit.
Stewart. Oh,
Whoa, that's weird.
the Stewart.
I haven't even thought of Mad
was
TV
like,
in a
hey,
long time.
stop it.
Yeah. Look what I can do. Look what I can do.
But then there was the Saturday Night Live Stewart. He's like the motivational speaker.
Tim, do you remember when that Austrian guy came in the bar? He was a total doucher.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
That was when I felt. That's when I figured out that German
My name is
people are
Maximilian.
way cooler
Yo,
than
that's
Austrian
right.
people.
Yeah, his name was fucking.
I am from
Yeah, my
Austria.
name is Maximilian.
I'll
He was-
bet you a Maximilian that was not.
He
his
was
name.
super bigoted, misogynistic, and racist
Oh,
all at
man,
the same
yeah.
time.
Yeah, but he was virtue signaling about his. He was like, "Yeah, do you know I'm from Austria? Do you know where Austria is?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I went
Oh,
to.
that's where Hitler's from, right?
I heard him say that 100 times that night.
I'm
that
from
he was
Austria.
From
Do you know what
Austria.
that is? We're like, yes, we went to 8th grade. And he's like,
Yeah.
you know what is interesting about the Austria is that we are the only European country who never colonized anyone else. We are the only non-race. He kept like trying to virtue signal about
Yeah.
being like non-racist, and I was like, dude, you're starting to get real weird. And me and Jody just fucking
He was
Destroyed him at
misogynistic.
chess.
we just
right?
handed him his fucking ass at chess. He's like, I play the chess in the boarding school. You play chess? Yeah. We were like, yeah.
Stupid Americans.
And me and Jody just fucked him up.
That was one of those nights where Jody.
That's how we do it here, brother. I'll tell you right now. You come to
super
Texas.
antagonistic.
You come to Texas thinking you're going
chess your ass.
thinking you're going to get us. We play chess here. We play chess in Texas.
Yeah, Jody kept a chessboard at the bar.
He did for a while, yeah.
We have to do something, Hans.
Yes, we do. Tell Carl.
That's right. Me and Jody are 7 and 8 still, and I need to play him again. He's 8, I'm 7.
I gave up playing Jody because he.
I don't want the hostages to think too much.
He's way too antagonistic.
Oh yeah, you just gotta
Plus, he's really good.
one game better than me.
Jody's episode should be out by the time this comes out. We apologize in advance, part 2.
Yeah. Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you, man, like, another reason why, so this is a really weird thing, and it might just be me, it's probably not you guys, but one reason why this is a really Christmassy thing for me is because this movie's so claustrophobic. He spends a whole lot of his
in
time
advance.
in like
Have you seen that ornament
air
that's like
ducts.
him in the vent?
Yeah, it is. He spends a lot of time in air ducts, like in this elevator shaft, under desks. You know what I mean? He's hiding a lot. He's in all these small spaces, and I am not in the least claustrophobic. Like, when I see people in small spaces, it just kind of makes it feel warm and swaddled. Does that make sense?
Are you serious?
Yeah, I like it. I like small spaces.
That's kind of weird.
Why is it weird?
I don't know, because small spaces,
Babies like small spaces. Why is it weird for...
it freaks me out.
They'll waste hours trying to negotiate.
I'm not necessarily claustrophobic, but like whenever I'm in a small space where I know, my brain knows that I can't stretch my arms out, my muscles start freaking out, and it's like I feel like it's just, man, it's so much.
I mean, you can get out of it. Why would it freak you out?
I mean, maybe it's like you ever been like really hot and you had like a shirt on, and like you pulled the shirt off and it's like it's hard to get off because you're sweaty or whatever. And then you're trapped. You're trapped. I don't really freak out, but there is a panic moment.
I don't know, dude.
I know I have had panic moments. Not where I freaked out, but it was just where it was like, oh god, this is
my life now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna die in this shirt.
Yeah, I mean that's the most terrifying way to go, is like in a coffin,
No, dude,
right? Being buried alive.
Not really. Not to me.
Why?
I don't know. I'll call somebody on my phone. Tell them where I am.
What if they took your phone? You just suffocate.
Fucking claw myself out. I don't know.
Do the punch.
Mayday,
Uma Thurman.
I'm just not afraid of, like, that's so... No one's ever gonna bury me in the ground. If I ever had like a threat to my life like that, someone would know that they should probably just go ahead and kill me. I don't think anyone would.
Go.
No, well, first of all, no one would ever have a chance. No one ever have a chance to like keep me restrained until they could do that the whole time. Like, there's just no way. I'm
whoever you are.
like, it just doesn't make any sense. So I'm not afraid of it.
I mean, just
it's a silly
to
fear.
extrapolate on that, like if
It's a silly fear.
anybody who is going to plan to bury you alive is going to obviously plan to probably sedate you in some kind of way, right?
I don't know, man.
I mean, that would be the way, right? You sedate them and put them in the box.
No one killed
do
you
your
but
thing.
me.
Well, I guess I'll worry if I ever meet
There's 50 serial killers in the country right
an
now.
anesthetician that I've really pissed off. All right. So,
This is an emergency call.
did I say that right? Anesthetician?
Otherwise, I'll have to report.
Did I
No,
say
that's
that right?
esthetician is the
No,
skin
an
people. Anesthetician.
Did I say it right?
Yeah, I think
An
that's
anesthetist.
close enough.
Anyway, if you work at if you work for a surgeon and you're an esthetician and I had sex with your wife, I'm sorry. Please don't kill me.
You like what's Leslie Nielsen from Creep Show?
yeah. See, that didn't even bother me. Like that scene where he was buried to his head, it didn't bother me at all. I'm not bothered by that stuff.
Stuff like that makes me short of breath.
What,
Like,
tight
you're-
spaces?
Like, yeah, claustrophobia. You're talking
See,
about claustrophobia and stuff
I am,
like that.
and my mom is so claustrophobic that she can't roll up all the car windows, like all the
Wow.
way. She's so like when we're in.
Yeah,
she,
see that?
she
That's-
has to have like 1 inch, and I don't know. Maybe it was because I grew up seeing her and seeing how silly that was. I try to separate myself from it, but it just doesn't bother me at all. I can literally.
If I'm on an elevator and too many people get on, I'll step off, even if I'm on the wrong floor.
Well, that's
I'll,
a different
I'll,
thing.
I'll step
so
off the
that's
elevator 'cause
crowd-based
I'll-
claustrophobia.
Yeah, that's my.
Yeah.
Well, one of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like one of the cons that I
But
went
could you
to.
like
Probably
crawl
more of a
through like
social anxiety
But
thing.
could you like crawl through a tube that's really tight?
Absolutely not.
Oh, see,
if I can't stretch my arms.
Like the videos of the
I'm fine with that.
cave
or if
the
it's
cave
too-
explorers like going into a hole.
Spelunking.
Well, that,
Yeah.
that horror
that
movie,
fucking terrifies
The
me.
Descent, that gave me a panic attack almost.
That made me feel pretty calm, actually.
That last, the big pandemic, the con that I went to in Dallas, there was so many fucking people there that I had to keep stepping out, going out. I had to go outside the building because I kept.
And you fight all you fight all that anxiety to go and do that thing.
I find myself
Proud of you.
I find myself in
It's a lovely
my
game.
age that I'm becoming. I'm not
you're
becoming. Yeah, whatever. I'm not getting like more claustrophobic when it comes to crowds. I'm just getting what would you call it? Like less patience with.
Yeah,
Like
I think,
when-
and that's part of
when
it too.
people are like in my
Oh, yeah.
bubble, I'm getting less patience,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
It's
Dude,
not the crowds
at-
necessarily, but like if I have to wait,
I'm like,
Yeah,
get
I
out
want to
because
move
other
at a certain
people-
speed. Yeah, and if
I
you don't get
deal
the
with a
fuck out
lot.
of my
Like
way,
I deal with it a lot at shows, like if at like sold out shows or packed shows, and I had to get from front of house
Yeah.
to wherever. Like I have zero patience for people
Yeah.
just being dumb and in
I
my
mean, that
way.
happens if I'm just at the mall,
Yeah.
or in the grocery aisle,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to get around
Somebody
somebody,
trying to
and they're
check
just,
out, it's like, what are you
and
doing?
they're just moving
Like-
so slow, and I'm just like, oh my god, get
Yeah.
the fuck out of my way.
Yeah,
The fuck kind of air shaft is that?
big one.
Is that the intake air for the entire tower? You know it serves a purpose because this is all practical.
Well,
on
this is
location.
the huge
Yeah.
ventilation shaft, basically.
Well, now
That's also probably helps with
Yeah.
fire prevention
Mm-hmm.
and blocking off certain areas, or those fans can suck smoke. You know,
I like how the titties is his marker for where he.
puts his hand on
Well,
it.
because he's been there before, so he knows where he is now.
He's learning his way around. It's those little things that he does that.
Well, whenever he touched it, it went boing. Like, there's a sound effect.
I thought he was just doing it as kind of like hey, sweet titties, like he was touching them for good luck or
No,
something.
well, he was like is more like a thank you. I know where yeah, because he's been past there before, so it's like thank you. It's good to see you
Yeah.
again.
Big Bizarre Sanctuary.
But yeah, those big shafts, they run parallel with elevator shafts, and if there is a fire, those big fans can suck.
They can
smoke.
draft it out.
Yeah, yeah, they can suck the smoke all the way out the top of the building, and
Well, like I was saying earlier, and what I never thought about until tonight, but it does make sense that he would know his way around a big building because he is a New York cop, and they have to go into these. He knows how they're built.
He understands.
I've never thought of that either until you said that. Yeah.
It would make sense that he knows how to get around through the ventilation shafts and everything because he's probably been inside all these types of skyscrapers or whatever.
Yeah, if you're
Or
like a cop
dealt
in
with-
Manhattan, what street crime is?
And
it?
I'm just
building
reaching
crime.
like I don't know
it's
if
building.
I don't know if
building
it's anything
crime,
they
dog.
thought of at all, but it has to be a thing. Like that's the only way that he can survive, or that he's been able to get where he needs to go.
Well, yes and no, because he still is just
Scrappy
hoping.
anti-hero.
Every
Yeah.
time he does something, he's like, I hope this works.
Yeah, he's
And if
fucking
it doesn't
wing- he's
work,
winging
I'm
it, dude.
dead. This right here, coming up here in a second, he
Winging it.
where he falls a little bit.
I can stall them, but not.
There's obviously it's going to be a stuntman, but there's a mistake coming up that they decided it looked good enough that they kept it in the film.
This is a classic action movie trope.
Yeah, we see the gun slipping and we're like, oh no, hurry up. It comes right, and it's pretty incredible because you would think it's planned, but
This got to be like a mat or some kind of screen.
yeah,
or something.
obviously, yeah, it's not as deep as it, or far down. There is actually a pretty good drop because
Yeah, fit the cameras down there. Yeah.
Up right. He was supposed to hold on to that.
Oh,
The stuntman was supposed to be able to grab that.
So
first-
there's a pretty good distance.
yeah,
above.
that first ledge that he was going for, and you could see it. He was supposed to catch right there, but the stuntman couldn't get it, and he falls like
to the second one below.
yeah,
it.
like 10 or 12 feet, and
And they were probably
it
like,
actually
"Oh, this is
it
great."
actually caught that next one.
Well, he was on wires or something.
No. I mean, he wasn't as high up as he was
Yeah.
because I mean, there was probably still like maybe 6 more
That
feet.
shot-
He wouldn't have been
that
hurt
shot,
if
yeah.
he would have.
Yeah, this shot is
That's
like.
a meme and a Christmas.
Well, that
ornament.
line, yeah.
See, this is
God,
why
have some.
I'm telling you guys, like, this is. I don't know what it is. I know I'm a fucking weirdo freak, but like these scenes where he's crawling, it makes me feel like warm and fuzzy and swaddled. I don't know why. It makes
See,
me
it
feel
doesn't
like
it doesn't weird
Christmas.
me out, but it doesn't make me feel warm and fuzzy at all.
I don't know.
That metal looks really cold. I don't know.
Well, it's a ventilation shaft, and it's during the winter, so it's probably actually warm air going through there.
I don't know. I'm
It
just,
probably is warm and
I'm
fuzzy.
just talking
in there,
shit. You know what's really sad to think about? Tom Cruise is more badass than Bruce Willis
Wait a minute. What?
because he does all his own stunts.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, I'll give him that. Bruce Willis
Like that.
fucks porn stars, right?
Yeah, Bruce Willis does fuck porn stars. Something we talked about before this.
That gun that he's using right there is it's called an AUG, I think.
I'll tell you
It's
what.
an AUG something.
They just look cool. I don't think they're actually pretty.
I'll tell you what.
They actually mimicked it. One of the Call of Duty games. That's one of the guns you can use, and it's exactly like that.
If you're listening to this and you comment below on whatever platform you're on, what kind of gun that this German guy is holding right now, we'll give you a shout out.
Yeah, tell us the real name.
If you're a gun expert,
I do believe
know.
that it is called an AUG. I was gonna say it's a bar, but it's
No,
not.
it's a type of gun. There's a lot of different versions of that kind of gun.
Well, they have like a number behind it. Yeah.
Tell us the model number. Tell us the make and model of that gun.
I don't think they're actually used as
Coolio
much in the
shout-out.
services as you would think, but they look really cool, and I think that's why they use a lot.
I mean, you could probably find out right now if you.
No, that's for our listeners to find
Well,
out.
we won't call it out. We got pen and paper, I believe. Because just for my own curiosity, I'm curious if that's the real name or if that was.
Would it be interesting if German terrorists were using Israeli guns?
Well, because when I say it, AUG is like that's a very German.
It's probably like Austrian
or Austrian. That's
Austrian something gun.
There was the SS. Their service pistols were called. Yeah, there's a guy that used to come to the bar. I'm gonna give a shout out to old friend Michael Cadwar. His father
was he a gun nut?
Damn,
well,
Tim.
he served and stuff, and he knew his stuff. That's right. It's an AUG.
It's an AUG.
There's a number behind it.
No, it's a state.
Don't say the model.
I'll bleep it.
I'm gonna go in for a closer look.
Just
Dude,
AUG.
it's a traditional American firearm. It's used by the LAPD.
What?
Oh no, they're talking about the movie.
Oh, okay. I was like, how the fuck does the LAPD use that weapon?
No, this is what this
Where do
this
I
art.
sign up?
It's an internet movie firebase firearm database. That's kind of interesting.
Oh wow.
It's like IMFDB.
Hey,
But it said they probably chose.
bookmark
Yeah,
that
I'll
shit.
save that.
That's
So
awesome.
they probably chose it to contrast the exotic European weapons with the more traditional American firearms carried by the LAPD.
All right, so
Enter our second hero.
yeah, I'm kind of lost right here because I don't know why Winslow's coming up. I don't. Oh, it was like one call or something. Huh?
He got one call out, or he hit the fire alarm,
That's right. He had the fire alarm.
and
They told him it was a false alarm.
and he's
Yeah.
basically following a hunch. He's like, I'm gonna still go by.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right. They were at the front desk and they're like, no, we're having a systems malfunction.
Yeah.
Thank you. Everything's fine here.
He's following a hunch. He's
Which
like,
is really weird,
He's like, I'm gonna go by and check it out just
Yeah.
to be sure.
Which is weird.
Well,
'cause
he called him again, and there was the gunfire they heard.
It'd be the fire marshal.
The
that called.
operators, like the gunfire, they pulled the earpiece out, and they said, "Hey, go check it out." And that's what he's going to check it out because they sent him there, even though there was already a false alarm.
I like how they're speaking German, but we get the English
The
subtitles.
subtitles. I honestly like it in a movie wherever,
Take a look around, do you?
whenever the people are speaking their language and there's no subtitles. I really like that.
Yeah, because it's basically
'Cause
like
it makes us-
you're in the
Yeah,
protagonist.
it makes
and
us
they don't
feel
understand.
what they're feeling. It makes us feel that. Like,
Cheers
what the
to
fuck are
the
they
second
saying?
act.
You're not supposed to understand either.
Yeah.
Second act, beginning of the bromance of the movie.
Unnecessary tuck and roll there from the bad guy.
Sorry, bud.
I try not to commentate too much on what's physically happening in the movie for our listeners that aren't actually watching the movie along with us. It's like when you listen to a comedian on the radio and they go, yeah, and then I made this face, and you're like, well, fuck, I can't see you. I don't know what face you're making. So,
Unless you're talking about old Bill Cosby. And then
so
we can just
listeners,
imagine.
I apologize sometimes. I try.
And then I'm making my face
I try
like
to steer
this.
away from doing that.
I think most.
But maybe if I do that, it'll make them go, God damn it, now I gotta go watch that movie.
Well, I think most of the people that watch these or listen to these have seen these movies before, and they can tell where they're at from the audio for the most part.
So we can tell now why this is R-rated because that dude just got shot in the balls.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you.
Now he says,
He has a great.
I can't remember
accent.
if he hears gunfire right here and stops, or if he
I think he keeps going, but he heard him.
No,
he don't want to tip him off.
He definitely does something.
McClane yells.
Or no, he starts to get shot at. That's right.
No, wait for it.
Wait for
You're
it.
giving away spoilers.
I'm so excited. I'm sorry.
8 Lincoln 30 to dispatch.
Yeah.
He
I
pulls
love-
a Con Air Dave Chappelle on him.
Here at Nakatomi Plaza.
Oh, he does.
Okay. Over. But no
Con Air, that's Con Air reference, you guys.
Yeah.
His character in
he's singing "Let It Snow."
oh shit. That was so good.
Is this the? Oh yeah, there's.
He starts getting shot the fuck up.
Oh, I love that. That's one of the very quotable lines.
Welcome to the party, dog. And his character,
big movie trope there.
Oh, it was like a Blues Brothers thing.
Yeah, it's somebody with headphones on or listening to radio and they don't see what's going on behind them.
this dude's character's so good too, and like we get like little clips and pieces of him in the dialogue. I'm not gonna spoil it because we haven't got there. But he's like that old hat detective who's like, God damn it, I'm 4 days from retirement.
One of my favorite things about action movies is the over-exaggerated car crashes and explosions and stuff. That, I don't know, it never fails to make me laugh.
Yeah.
Whenever a car hits a curb and jumps like 6 feet in the air, like
that one was pretty realistic.
Explodes in a giant fireball.
Whenever it hopped over that first hill, that was why I laughed. It was pretty.
There was a little ramp there. Yeah.
It was pretty funny.
This is actually after the TV series Family Matters. This is actually a spin-off movie of his character, because we keep calling him Winslow, but that was his name.
I mean, this exists in the same universe.
I was going to ask you what,
because he's a cop in both of them.
He was like a deputy.
Okay, so Family Matters ran from 89 to 98, so he was
it was
in
a prequel. That was a prequel. The Family Matters was a prequel to this.
Are you trying to tell me that it is all connected?
God,
well,
so
I'm going to, just while we're on the topic, and then we can move on.
I've never realized that before. That is so awesome.
Well, because, and this is a spoiler alert, but I'm just going to say one thing about his character. When he's talking to McClane later on the radio, he tells him that he's a desk jockey or something because he fucked up a couple years ago.
Yeah, we won't say what it was, but yeah.
But he finally does tell him what it was. Mm-hmm. And
he got gun shy or something.
Well, no, I'm going to go ahead and say it to explain why.
Oh, sure, okay.
He says, I fucked up and I shot a kid. I shot a little boy or something accidentally. He thought he had a gun. Urkel had it coming. That's why Family Matters is a prequel to Die Hard, because Winslow finally fucked off and shot Urkel.
Dude, that was a good setup.
And they put him behind a desk.
That was a good setup, goddamn.
That was it. He finally snapped and shot Urkel.
I thought you were being so serious when you said it, man. That was
I mean, years of him Urkel fucking with him. He finally shot him, and they put him behind a desk.
I mean, this guy had a pretty great career.
That made me geeky laugh.
He had a great career as a character actor.
He did voice work too, I believe.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he started out in Ghostbusters. He did Crocodile Dundee. He was in that, and he was the limo driver. He threw the boomerang. He was in Turner and Hooch alongside Tom Hanks. But then this movie kind of shot him off, and then he got the sitcom. But then he kept doing like little small character roles, you know.
That's weird because I only remember him from this.
Yeah, we talked about that scene in where he ripped off the antenna, which was a boomerang, because
and it was his limo.
Yeah, it was his limo. Because Crocodile Dundee.
How crazy is that?
Crocodile Dundee called him.
He was the limo driver. Yeah.
Crocodile called him.
When I brought that up earlier,
we talked about it. We went right past it.
Yeah. I did not.
I thought you knew. That's what. Yeah.
Fuck.
He actually.
Okay, that's legitimately.
He was the first. Yeah. He was the first black person he saw in America. So he thought he was an Aboriginal. He even was like.
I did not bring that up as a setup. I legitimately couldn't remember what movie that was.
Yeah. That's why when he
was
threw
the
that,
limo driver.
He's like, "Hey."
And see, you always get mad whenever I don't listen and I ask questions you already answered, but then things like that happen. So.
I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, every once in a while something slips in the cracks.
All right, look, Sam, I tell you.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's why we do this, you guys. Hopefully, y'all just look.
We got one.
You guys,
your minds blown over.
We should do Crocodile Dundee for our Valentine's Day episode, because that is like kind of like.
Is it a Valentine's Day?
It's like the anti rom-com. I feel like.
What other movie would do for Valentine's Day, though?
I don't know.
Not these anchors, but whoever this producer guy's, that actor right there. He always played a douchebag in the 80s.
The guy with the headphones on?
No, the guy that just walked off.
Oh,
he's a douchebag, but I appreciate his spunk as a journalist.
He looks very similar to the asshole in Ghostbusters.
And the other man was.
Yeah. I can't remember.
Bill Murray is like, this guy has no dick.
It was the inspector who was trying to shut him down?
Yeah, he's trying to get him locked up or whatever.
I can't remember that guy's name, but he was in everything.
Yeah, in the 80s. Oh yeah, and he always played that asshole.
He was in big budget movies. He was
William
even the bad.
Atherton Knight.
He was a guy. He was a bad guy in Biodome, for fuck's sake.
3 down, 4 to go.
Don't waste time.
Are we sure that's the same guy?
I'm pretty sure.
It's got to be. I mean,
I'm pretty sure it is.
Los Angeles Police Department.
Look at his car. It's like straight up and down.
Acknowledge this transmission.
Can we do a listener poll?
He was in Biodome, yeah.
Can we do a listener poll to see all you sad sacks who are forever single like we are, and you hate fucking
or listening to us right now. On Christmas
or
Eve.
listening to us.
Ooh,
But
gosh.
if
Yikes.
Oh God, yeah.
You know, 'cause
or
we-
on Christmas, just their family's not there.
we like to think ahead, and this is a Christmas episode.
Christmas for me is going to be super depressing. I
Well,
know
hopefully
that.
y'all
We'll
are
be at
spending
the
your
bar.
Christmas with us right now on the pipe. If you're listening to us actually on Christmas,
We're all on the same
Merry
page.
Christmas.
We're all on the same boat.
We're here with you.
And I don't ever say this, but I love you guys.
Oh my God. I knew that was coming.
No, you didn't, because I never fucking say
See,
it.
it means so much more because he doesn't ever say
I
it.
don't. I literally never say
But
that.
I literally get like my heart jumps whenever he does. Whenever he
Dude,
does
Merry
that.
Christmas. Merry Christmas.
I don't say it very much
I-
either.
I love you
so
all.
I appreciate the sentiment.
So we're definitely gonna do a poll for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to. I was saying we need to do
I hope
an
they
audience
pick.
poll.
I hope they pick
Yeah.
a shitty romantic comedy that we can do.
For what, Valentine's?
Yeah,
listener
yeah.
poll?
Let's take an audience poll for like
Oh yeah, that's good.
our anti-Valentine's
Because
Day.
yeah, we're having trouble picking a
Yeah.
good one.
Well, it
for
might
that.
be fun because then we could just shit on a rom-com because we're all single and
Right, I think so.
happy. That would be
We
fun.
picked, and we've been picking
Single
our
and happy.
movies. When we did the 13 Nights of Halloween, we picked the ones we wanted to do. You know, when we're doing Christmas, we're picking the movies we want to do.
Yeah.
So the next holiday that comes
We've
up,
only
let's-
actually done one episode that was for a fan that was a request episode. It was fantastic.
and 13 Nights, yeah.
Well, no, we did another one that was a request. Bloodsport?
No, we just
We did a poll
decided
for
to do that.
Bloodsport.
We did a poll.
Well, that was
in
a poll,
the,
but as far as like somebody that actually legitimately requested it over.
we did a poll in the A to Z movie night, the grouping.
Yeah,
for
we would
that,
like
yeah.
to do more of those for y'all. So
Yeah.
that's one thing we don't get enough. I want people to tell us what they want to hear.
It's coming. We're gonna have this episode comes out on the 24th, Christmas Eve, and then the new year we start doing different things with the movie night. We're gonna start being a lot more active and coming out with a lot more episodes.
Yeah, we got some really
It's
cool
gonna get
stuff
weird.
coming up in the next 2 or 3 months. I'm excited.
Is that the guy from Animal House?
It's the principal from Breakfast Club, isn't it?
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah, yeah.
These pricks want.
No.
Terrorists, sir, we don't exactly know.
Look him up. Back to work, Zach.
That's T. Nelson, right?
No.
We don't know that either, sir.
Actually, that's funny you say that because you mean Craig T. Nelson?
I think so. Yeah.
The guy that the girl that plays his wife in this is actually married to Craig T. Nelson in real life.
Powell, has it occurred
I
to
shit you not.
could be one of the
What's
terrorists
his name?
in your
The lady that
chain?
plays it,
No,
John
this guy's
McClane's wife in
In
this.
there?
I don't think so, sir. In fact, I think he's a cop.
Paul Gleason?
Maybe not LAPD, but he's
Gleason,
definitely a badge.
How do you know?
Sounds
A hunch.
a
Things he
hunch.
said.
A hunch.
Ah, I
Like
told
being
you.
able to spot a phony
Yeah,
ID.
he was the principal from Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club, yeah.
Trading Places.
Bartender for all we know.
2 weeks. 3 weeks. And he
He
was
said
what?
he could be a fucking bartender for all we know. What the fuck's? Why does that matter?
I think a
I'll
bartender
tell you right
would do-
now, if I was,
think a bartender would do quite well in this
if
situation.
I was in John McClane's situation right now, I'd be doing just as good.
Yeah, this is
I'd
great.
have some
I think
fucking
so.
shoes on.
I
I
think
tell you
so.
that
That,
much.
that
yeah.
guy's been acting since his first role was in '62. I never knew that. Like he's been doing this
I
shit
hate
for a
this
while.
character because he just
I have a request.
insinuated that
What idiot?
bartenders are
You
not.
did.
The,
You know who'd be doing
not
real
fucking
good in this
rock
situation?
stars.
My boss.
Me.
Now everybody's looking.
Tim,
for
do you
Be
think
doing
you're a rock
fucking
star?
Real good in this
Personally, I'd
situation.
pass on the job.
Hey, your words, not mine.
Close to you.
You know, I do all the editing, and it's never mind.
You're gonna cut that out? Fuck you.
No, I'm gonna emphasize it. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Relax. She's not due for a couple of weeks, but sitting on that rock is
Dude,
doing her back.
Alan Rickman aged so well.
Move her to one of the offices where there's a.
It's funny to see, like we were talking in the early bits of this about like how this is kind of like I don't know if it's his first main role or not, but
This was
it's
his
definitely early
This was
career.
his first Hollywood big role.
'Cause
This
he
is
was-
what broke him out here.
Because he's like a proper British
Yeah.
like stage actor.
A lot of theater,
Yeah,
yeah.
a lot of theater. And he came to this. He doesn't look much when he
No, thank you.
was later in his years before he died. He did not look that much different, to be honest with you. He was like
Well, you didn't see the pictures of
the
him.
man aged super well.
Who, Alan Rickman?
Yeah, that's
I
what
mean,
I'm
he
talking
died
about.
at like late 50s or early 60s.
Well, how old is he here?
Probably early 40s, I'd
30s,
say.
maybe.
Late 30s.
He wasn't that old.
I'd
whenever
say.
he died.
I'd say he's 40 years old right there.
So he aged really well because when he was 25, he looked like 38. I got you. That makes sense.
No, he was born in 46, so he was in his 40s.
He was old when he died. He was
38.
He was 38
in here.
He died at 69.
I was close.
Yeah, he was
That's
old.
pretty.
He was
Yeah,
older
he's
when he
pretty
died.
old.
It's not too old though.
Still, I mean,
it's not old enough, honestly.
Yeah, it's not old enough.
It didn't really bother me when he died because I'm a fucking monster.
Pancreatic cancer, man. That's what got the
sways. That's what got the sways. Pancreatic cancer and Bill Hicks. There's only a 2% survival rate for pancreatic. It's the worst kind of cancer you can get.
Especially for males.
He revealed the fact that he had terminal cancer only to his closest confidants. So nobody knew that he was dying other than his,
he didn't want to bum
his best
anybody
friends.
out.
Yeah, because I remember it being really sudden. Like, it was just, he was...
Nobody knew anything, and then he was gone.
The Sways survived for like 2 years, bro. He
and he was looking bad at the end.
Yeah, but he started that
money on
show.
that.
He did like 6 episodes of that one show, and I don't know who it was that produced that show, but they just gave it to him. They were like, "Yeah, dude, you can do whatever the fuck you want."
Fuck, what's his name? The T-top. Burt Reynolds. He was bad
He just died.
and rough for a long time.
He looked great when he died, though.
Oh, yeah.
Merry Christmas!
He
Let's
had a
talk
nice
about
wig.
more dead people.
Who else? Oh, Stan Lee.
No, he's talking about
Fucking
depressed
the guy that
stockbrokers.
created SpongeBob just recently died.
Dude, Stan Lee didn't bother me at all because he was he was so old.
Yeah.
Like I felt
No.
When I got the text,
There's nothing to feel sad about.
somebody
I
texted
felt
me and they were like,
good.
Stan Lee just died. And I was like, I don't feel anything.
Yeah.
No, I dude, like,
I just was not shocked.
anybody, like, he's lived an excellent
Yeah,
life.
he's 95 years old. Come on, like, it was not a shock.
I wish he would have lived just a little bit longer to see Avengers 4.
Here's
I
an
hope
idea.
that he got to see it.
But other than that, like I was like, man, that guy.
So
he has lived a fucking life.
So
I love that
saying
guy.
that you didn't feel bad whenever he died because he lived a hell of a life. What do you feel about them continuing his cameos with CGI? Like they did with the guy in Star Wars.
They won't.
I wouldn't be opposed to it.
I think
it'd be awesome
because it's just cameos.
It's continuing his.
Well,
legacy.
he already filmed one for Avengers 4 and the next Spider-Man, so we got 2 more legit.
And he's not,
cameos coming
he's not an actor. You know, it's just like.
No, they'll do something.
I think
when
that'll be fine.
Avengers 4, whatever the next Marvel movie is that comes out, Captain Marvel, they're going to do a big dedicated to Stan Lee thing in the credits, and it's going to be.
It's weird. It's weird how we just have like a. It's weird how we have like a fourth sense for like sensitivity about these issues, and we don't even have to think about it. We just know when something's appropriate. Like when they CG Carrie Fisher, we're like, nope.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. But you're like, the CG Stanley?
Dude,
like,
I didn't
totally fine.
like the CG of the of Tarkin.
No,
I thought that was kind of. I mean, I was impressed. I was really impressed, but it was kind of like. Ugh.
They should have been a lot more sparing. Because the longer you look at something like that, the more you can realize it's fake, especially the eyes. So the cops are actually getting serious now. They got SWAT guys coming in.
Well, no, they keep brushing off.
This right here, look at this. What
kind
was
of
the
pussy?
point of that?
What kind of pussy-ass
it's
SWAT
comedy.
team?
I guess, but like, here's the guy I was talking about. What do you recognize this guy?
I've seen him in a
super
bunch of
familiar.
shit.
Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the main guy in the standoff.
That's probably why they put that scene in, is because the SWAT team is heading in against the suggestion of
against Winslow's suggestion.
of Winslow
Yeah.
and against even Bruce's, because Winslow knows, like, Bruce and Winslow have become partners in this movie.
So, yeah, they're
because
saying
nobody's listening to
your guys
him.
are gonna get slaughtered.
Yeah, nobody's
buddy
paying
cops.
attention to him. Like because he's just a desk jockey. Like you don't know
It's
anything.
like-
I'm sitting in the SWAT team.
Well, it's like Ripley in Aliens.
Yeah.
She goes, if you send those guys in there, they're gonna get they're all gonna get killed. They're like, shut up, Ripley, and then they all fucking get killed.
Did this movie establish the trope of like the like, it's like a typical trope of action movies of the escalating authority, like I'm chief,
or the guy comes in, hey,
it's like, this is our scene now.
This is my investigation now. Yeah, I mean,
because the federal guys that come up in this one are pure comedy.
It didn't start with this, but this is a perfect example of that. Yeah,
and I think they play on it a lot.
Yeah, we're in charge now, and the guy that's been there all night's like, no, listen to me, and they're like, shut up.
Dude, that was definitely established in Westerns where,
Yeah.
like, the town sheriff's like, I got this, and they're like, nah, we're sending the Texas Rangers.
Yeah.
That was definitely established
A bunch
in
of
Westerns.
gun,
yeah.
a trigger, a bunch of trigger happy.
That was.
I don't know.
A bunch of trigger happy macho guys that, and they're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
no, listen, I get that, but you don't understand this situation, and they don't listen to the guy.
I don't know. I think I don't think so.
It makes
Because-
you as an audience member go, oh god damn! It makes you frustrated as a
For
watcher
sure.
because you're
Yeah.
like, listen to this guy, he knows what he's talking about, and then you have to sit there and watch the guys get
But
slaughtered.
then, they always make the guys that are not listening idiots. Like the guy that's like the flower hurt him.
Well, this is another.
Because they're idiots.
Well,
Like, they're not paying
another
attention.
trope like what you're talking about is that goes right along with that is, especially in the 80s in movies like this, inept cops. The cops that like don't know, like in Gotham City. Every cop in Gotham's a fucking moron, you know.
Yeah, kind of.
Hence Batman. See, I mean, yeah, you see the frustration, and then of course they'll do a scene like this where you're like, okay, well these guys are all gonna die.
Well,
It's a scene that's been done a lot, especially in Aliens, where all these badass Marines for the first 45
sure,
minutes
yeah.
of the movie, and then they go in there and they're all machismo and cocky, and then they all fucking get killed. It's just like four
within
people.
7 minutes.
Yeah, they all die.
So I think, let me try to get this out there. I'll get it out really quick. But I have a small theory about this. Why cops in the 80s were portrayed as very incompetent, and now they're really not. And it's because, and it's really easy to forget now with the news cycle and everything. It seems like crime is higher now than it is, but crime is drastically,
all crime and violence is
dramatically lower.
down,
Like
yeah.
crime is literally almost zero now
Across the
compared to
world.
what it was in the 80s. Like at this point in '88, the crime in LA was staggering. So portraying
This
these
is 88.
cops,
I mean, what 3, 4? It was 4 or 5 years later that the LA riots happened. You know,
it was for FBI literally
Yeah,
like
maybe.
took over LA in all the RICO shit. But so like I think that when everyone wrote the cops as like ineffectual type of things, I think that's the public's frustration with the police members because
Right.
crime was so fucking bad then.
And there was
And it's like
there was
nothing now.
Well, I mean, it comes back around, but a mistrust of police, I guess.
Yeah.
But also in a film like this, they would do that so that it solidifies the idea in the film that, okay, John McClane is the only guy that's going to be able to do this.
Yeah.
The police, the SWAT team came in with all their gun power and all the firepower and all their big weapons and still couldn't do it.
And it's going to take a man with his shoes off.
So yeah, it solidifies the fact that, okay, he is our only hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, from like
Because otherwise you'd be like, yeah, why do we care about McClane? Like, these guys could just bust in the fucking building and tear gas them all. So we have to have a scene like this where we go, okay,
absolutely, yeah.
this...
That's
we
what it
gotta
is from
back
like
off
a story. That's what it is from a story part. That's what it is from a storytelling part of this movie in general. But I was just talking about the culture at the time.
No, I'm agree. I sorry. I know. I see what you're saying.
well, I mean, just like
Amazing explosion, practical effect right there. Amazing explosion.
I mean, you wonder what the purpose, like,
One
what
take.
of this culture at this time produced like 48 Hours, all these
Hit it again.
all these anti-hero cop movies. Like they're not glorifying him as a police officer. Like he's breaking a lot of rules, I guess you could say.
Well,
and all the actual police officers are goofy idiots in the.
Well, he's
film.
also he's an individual in terms of storytelling. So John McClane's an individual. Winslow's character's an individual, but the SWAT team is a collective. So they're representatives as a police collective.
Yeah, and when I look at McClane in this movie, I don't identify him as a cop.
Right.
I identify him as. And this movie would have worked.
It's Joe Everyman.
Well, yeah, this movie would have worked just as well if he hadn't have been a cop. If he was just an every guy, just a dude.
It would have worked if he was an ex-cop. It would have worked if
It
he
would
was
have worked
like,
if he was a
if
fucking
he was,
firefighter. It
if
would
he
have
was
worked
a
if he was
firefighter
a
or a Marine.
construction, or it
You
didn't
know?
even have to be
Yeah.
military based. It could just because he does the whole everyman thing that he's just. Well, I mean, he wouldn't be able to do.
Well, yeah, he has to have
C4
some
stuff.
sort of background.
Yeah, a little
yeah.
bit of thing to help him out. But yeah, he's. You kind of
For you
forget,
guys listening, he just rigged up C4, so
Yeah.
he has to have some sort of knowledge background.
Sometimes you forget that he is a cop. You just feel like he's just a man that's thrust into this situation, and he's working. You know, he's doing the whole looking around and go, okay, what do I like the MacGyver thing? What do I have in this room that I can make a fucking bomb out of?
God damn.
looked good.
What's that?
and
You
bad
think
at
that
the
was
same-
practical, Tim?
No, that was.
I don't know. I mean,
no, that was the building. That was an existing building. It was all.
No, I bet that was a
the same
model.
building.
I bet it was a model.
It's all overlay. Yeah, probably.
Well, I don't know
yeah.
because in Terminator 2, the Cyberdyne building,
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
end,
That was
real.
That was all real.
That was real. One take, they rigged up that building and they blew the fuck out of it.
Yeah, not this building because this building isn't even finished being built in the real world.
And that shot did not linger whatsoever. It was like
same
flash
thing with
done.
the hospital in the Dark Knight. That was
real.
That was a real
coming
building
down.
that they blew the fuck out of for real.
So the building that they're in is the production company that made this movie, right?
Yes, it's 20th Century.
Yeah, that is an impressive economical choice.
That's cheap,
I
actually.
would say so. It's like
That's
you're going to
probably-
shoot the whole film on a building we haven't finished building yet.
It's probably why the budget was lower than we thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, they lucked out and got a. I mean, if there was several floors that were unfinished, they didn't have to worry about people being up there.
Mm-mm.
They could shoot
I mean,
all day and night.
it's
if
at
they
night.
wanted
It's
to.
at every shot is at night.
Right. Yeah. So
there's and in the beginning there's like a shot at the airport, a couple of shots in the limo. That's all they had to do. Everything's on location. Like
I wonder how long the shoot for this was.
That can be a really huge part of a film's budget too, is film permitting and then also paying for a location. Because anytime you have like the perfect location that you go, people are like, "Oh man, you want to shoot on my farm? Dude, this is Hollywood. Let me try to get a bunch of money.
Yeah.
I'll let you shoot on my farm for
retire. You can have it
for $50,000."
But considering that, okay, a good chunk of that building wasn't finished yet, and they're filming the whole thing at night, which means the building is virtually empty.
Right.
But that also means that they probably only have about 8 hours a night to film before the sun starts coming up and the workers start coming back in, and they've got to clear out. That happens. That happens a lot. Oh shit! The sun's coming up. We got to hurry up and get this shot before it starts getting bright outside, and they got to move all that shit away so that people can come in and actually work.
Wait, this was Alan Rickman's first feature film role
in Hollywood. First American
feature.
film.
That's a feature film.
Yeah, first feature American Hollywood role.
Yeah, he was like a stage actor, right?
Yes.
You hang in there, man.
Did you say that before?
Well, we weren't sure.
Two or
but
three times.
But I mean,
it's well known. It's well known.
Yeah, yeah.
Tim said it. I
was less giving you information than just.
Look at him. He's just doing coke out there in front of everybody.
I'm tired of sitting here waiting to see who gets us killed.
He's like, I'm gonna get. That's a good idea. Get real coked up and go negotiate with the terrorists.
Oh, that would give me anxiety really bad.
Handle this Euro trash.
Yeah, call him Eurotrash. That'll work.
If you listen to me, he would
Sprechen Sie talk.
He does it so well. Like
speaks to speak. That was great. That was great translation.
I'm not interrupting.
What does he want?
It's not what I want. It's what I can give you.
Hey, Buster, I don't know if you know this, but I'm a high-powered executive in the 80s.
this scene almost gets it gets me excited because as soon as he knocked on that door, that he's gonna die.
Yeah.
As soon as he came into this room, you're like, oh, he's gonna fucking die, and I can't wait to see what they do.
I watch 60 Minutes. I say to myself, these guys are professional.
So this is a good example of the Chekhov's gun thing in theater, where if you the basic premise the basic premise is if there's a gun above the fireplace in scene 1 or in act 1, it has to be used by the next act. He was set up as this sleazy kind of thing, and it wasn't pointless. He hasn't really done anything since that moment.
But as soon as his introduction, you knew, he
He's
wasn't
a slimy
just
dude. He was doing coke on somebody else's desk.
Yeah,
you
knew he wasn't just a throwaway character. You knew that was going to come back. They made it a point for right off the bat.
It's only proper to do coke off your own desk. God damn it.
The guy upstairs is fucking thinking.
Oh yeah, because he was in what's-her-face's office doing it.
He was in his wife's office.
What a slime ball.
He's trying to do that whole like power move thing where he's like putting himself in her territory.
Right. Yeah.
Because he probably read Art of War by Sun Tzu, like every day before he goes there because he's a high-powered executive in the 80s.
Yeah.
So it's like
Wall Street guy.
They shot from the 2nd of November to March of '88. So
say it again.
November
that's a long
to
time.
March.
Oh wow,
that's a long shoot.
That's 5 months.
For basically like a single location set, that's actually pretty long.
Well, like I said, I mean, considering they had limited time, if they're filming at night, they got to be in and out of that building before people come back in. So
yeah,
How about you, Cop?
they probably had
You got any kids?
this is.
Well, they actually shot the airport scenes at the airport.
This part of the movie where they just stop and kind of get to know each other a little bit. He asks him, "So, what about you?"
Well, no, this is an action movie trope.
You got kids?
Shit,
For
I would
sure.
I would stop and do that. I'd be like, man, I'm about to die. Can you calm me down a little bit?
The quiet, dramatic moment of the film.
We keep talking about westerns, and he keeps calling him cowboy.
Well, this movie shares Western themes. You know, I've been on that kick, like calling every movie in the world a Western lately.
Well, he's a cowboy cop.
I wouldn't call this one a Western, but it definitely
Yippee-ki-yay,
has
man.
Western themes.
Yeah, yippee-ki-yay.
He's like this is the definition of the cowboy cop.
I mean, he just arrived in town. Like, it literally has a lot of Western themes into it. That's why they call him a cowboy a lot.
Yeah, the bad guys roll into town and try and
Well, I
take
was reading
over
over some things, and
it's
like
up to our
even
hero
the
to
term
stop
cowboy cop was originated from Beverly Hills Cop, because I think he gets called that. But this defines
Oh, yeah, he
it.
does get called that.
Yeah, this defines it.
Hey, John Boy.
This is so great.
Ellis?
Did you guys know that a vast number, or like a vast swath of all cowboys in the West were black?
Appreciate that, but you just
Yeah, you brought that up.
Yeah, vaqueros. The West was actually like an extremely multicultural setting,
happen until you stop messing up the works, capiche?
and the women ruled everything. It was a very strange thing. Seems like it'd be like really backwoods time, like non-progressive, but in a lot of ways the West is like more progressive than now.
Guess at the party.
Well, people weren't
Ellis,
being
Tell me about it.
what stubborn's not the word. Holding out necessarily against other races or cultures. They were.
Yeah.
It was technology.
Because everyone had to like work together to live. you
Well,
know?
it was when
Yeah.
technology started coming around, when the trains showed up and everything, and they realized that it was going to change their whole way of
That's
life
weird, yeah.
and stuff. That was what they didn't like.
John, didn't you hear me?
Maybe that's why the
They
West
would-
Coast. Maybe that's why the West Coast is more air quotes progressive, because there's a lot more remnants of Western culture there. Because literally,
It was
like
the last place we settled.
California in like the 1920s was still the West.
Yeah.
The only place that was like actually settled was the Golden Age,
Well, yeah, and
LA.
the Gold Rush later
like
on.
the Golden
yeah.
Age LA, and then San Francisco. But like, it was still kind of the West. It's really weird.
Give us what we want and save your friend's life.
Early
This equation is timing.
early Hollywood, whenever they did Western pictures, like in the teens and the 20s, those are real fucking cowboys.
This
Anyway.
is.
This asshole is not my friend.
He just made a comment. He goes, "What do I look like? A method actor?"
Tell them you don't know me.
John, how can you say that after all these years, huh?
So he's fucking up so much.
Yeah, he's a fucking idiot.
John.
Dude's fucking up.
Yeah. He was dead already and he didn't know it.
So did he promise something he couldn't deliver, I guess? I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
he said he was going to be able to talk John into surrendering. Because he's like, I know the guy, I'll get him to surrender.
Talk to me. Where are my detonators? Where are they, or shall I shoot?
And that guy was such a piece of shit. All the ladies out there started screaming and everything. Like, were they really that upset that guy died?
Oh,
It would have been cool
no.
if they would have cut back to the crowd and all of them would have been like,
I'm gonna get my ass slapped a lot less
we
now.
knew he wasn't coming back out of that room.
Can't you read between the lines?
On the right channel?
Yes, sir. He did everything he could to save him. If he gave him
And they're still
Oh, somebody just got shot. That's why.
you missed the slime bag.
Tell this partner of yours, pal, to stay the hell out.
Sometimes we take bathroom breaks during the podcast.
Which one died?
I'm really
The slimy,
the weasel.
cokehead guy that went in.
Oh yeah, they shot him because he couldn't help him.
Yeah,
Well-
he thought he was gonna.
He made the mistake.
He outlived his usefulness. I guess.
He made the mistake of establishing himself as important to John McClane, in which
That's what got him killed.
that's what got him
And then
killed.
they
'Cause
found
he's
out
like,
what-
you think I'm
what
playing
is
with you?
really
I'll
the
shoot your friend.
Like all you have is information, dude. Once we have the information that you have, then you.
Well, he double fucked him because now Hans is going, okay, who else does John know in
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
which leads him to his wife.
But that's the great comeuppance. That's the thing that, like, it's really satisfying for him to get shot by them because, like,
I kind of wish John would have been the guy to shot.
well,
I wish, like, at the end, he would have ran up and be like, "John, you saved us all." He would have, like, bam.
well, those
one
guys
more for the
like,
fire, you guys.
Those
That guy
the
touched my
techniques
wife.
the techniques that he used for the terrorists to get ahead is what he used to get ahead in life,
Right.
and fucking people over, and
It
it
got him
didn't
killed.
work this time.
Yeah, he's always been able to talk his
he was
way
playing
out
the
of
wrong
this.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now I can rattle
it's
it.
kind of satisfying
His
to see
mistake was, I like how you could
following
kind of see the hole
are to be
through his head, or is
released
that
from their
just a...
captors.
No, I think you're right.
In Northern Ireland, the 7 members of the new Provo Front. In Canada, the 5...
So he's telling the police negotiator that he wants to give like the IRA a bunch of stuff, which was a hot ticket terrorist organization at the time.
yeah.
And he wants a lot of people released from people that are being held or in jail. He wants to secure their release.
There's a lot of weird terrorist groups around this time. There's RA, they're still kind of around, but there was also
There was white terrorists.
there was
Isn't that
a
weird?
big one in the Amazon in South America. I forget what they were called, but they were around this time.
Mr. Gruber, this is crazy. I don't have.
It's funny how
They
movies
should,
don't show white terrorism anymore, but it's still around.
Hello.
Do they not?
They're still doing the whole trope where this guy's not listening to Winslow right there, who was the only guy that could probably help him. But that's because they'll finally they got to have that scene where they look at him and go, "Okay, you were right all along. What do you think what's our next move?" You know.
And you better be right.
And he goes, "Okay, I want 2 men up there, 2 men, you down here, and this and that, and hey, cowboy."
Call me when you hit the last lock.
He's
Hunt
Is this
Well,
based on a
hold on,
book
he's-
or something?
and get those...
Thorpe, I think, was the author's name.
Object explosives. You just get
It's called Nothing Lasts Forever.
Uh,
But there's
And
major changes and stuff in it.
and there was a there was a film in the '60s that this is like the spiritual successor remake to that was about a tower.
Towering Inferno?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Well, there was another one.
because they pretty much use the exact same poster art and everything and all that. They set it up to be kind of like in the same.
O.J.
in the
Simpson
vein.
was in that movie.
It was kind of funny. And back to the
Really? Wait, what?
what movie
In
was
the
that?
Towering Inferno?
Wasn't that in the '60s?
It was in the 70s.
Oh, in the '70s?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was when disaster movies were real big, like Poseidon Adventure.
Oh,
Towering
right,
Inferno,
yeah.
you know.
You know, another Chekhov's gun was the weird guy on the plane telling him to take his shoes off and make fists with his toes.
Yeah, it's one of those.
He's like, that's weird. Why would you say that? And then that's why he's been barefoot the entire fucking movie.
Well, that's another just example of making our hero vulnerable. He was the guy told him to do that with his toes because he had a fear of flying.
Well, yeah, that's the point of doing it in the plot, but like it's such a great way of setting it up. Like this movie's really well done. Like it's a really written movie.
It's
Even
they make it a point to drag him past everybody, so everybody sees like
like this. Okay, so this movie has the elements of the cheesy action cop movies, but it's still it has pieces of it, but it's actually it's not.
It's more layered than that, though. Yeah.
Well, it's not even more layered, but it's still decent though.
Well, it
like
has
they
a
hit
lot-
those tropes, but they don't.
It has a lot of nonverbal communication. It has a lot of visual communication and stuff like that. That's why.
Special Agent Johnson.
Well, yeah, there's soon in the plot, I'll save it here a minute, yeah, there's a perfect example of that coming up. That was very smart, where they build this guy.
Where the feds...
Not anymore.
Where the feds, we here to clean up your
Now
mess.
we're in charge, yeah. There's now another set of guys that have shown up and said... Oh,
So
what's
this
that
guy-
actor's name that just showed up? He's very... He was in tons of things back then.
Who? One of the Johnsons?
Yeah, the guy that
The
just walked
new
up.
special agents.
Yeah, he walked up into the frame. God, he was
Once,
in a ton
once-
of things in the 80s and 90s.
You know what their full names are? Big Johnson and Little Johnson.
Oh, if you tell me the actor's name, I could tell you.
Robert Davey is Big Johnson, and Grandel Bush is Little Johnson. Robert Davey, he was in The Goonies.
That's what, yeah.
Yeah, he was the
He's one of the
greasy...
bad guys in the Goonies.
Jake
the greasy
Fratelli.
guy.
Name a
Goonies.
couple more of his films off.
The opera singer. He was also Bond villain Fran Sanchez in License to Kill.
Timothy Dalton one, yeah.
He was in Police Deputy Chief Phil Heineman in Predator 2.
Oh, here he goes. This is
This is
this
great.
is his American accent.
Please, God, no, you're
aren't you? You're one of them.
And this is probably one of the best things they did in this.
It really is.
Movie.
Well, the other example, going back to what I said about playing villains, it's
I'm playing the dude, playing a dude, playing another dude.
yeah.
That's this moment.
Well, it's just so perfect because we know he's a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
What were you looking for?
It's like, John,
But
you're
then
smarter than this, right?
The way they start kind of verbally sparring, like 1 minute you go, okay, John knows, he's just toying with him, and then the next minute you go, oh shit, does he know? Like, this is a big who really actually has the upper hand right now.
That's the thing, you're worrying about John because you know he's a decent man, and he's not going to be suspicious.
You want to stay alive? You stay with me.
Too suspicious, So you worry about him being too accepting.
But it builds suspense in the audience too because we're sitting there going, oh man, you're so close, you got him. Like, you have the main bad guy in front of you right now. You could end all of this, and you're screaming at the screen to go, shoot him, shoot him, shoot him.
Yeah. But the only thing he knows about him is his voice with the German accent. He doesn't know what he looks like. He doesn't know anything about.
Yeah, exactly. He has no idea. That's how it works. Is that it's all been radio.
And the entire movie is like that with these guys. These guys have every aspect you get to see, whether it's the terrorists, whether it's John or the police on the outside. They are all isolated from each other.
Yeah,
but you get to see their viewpoint. It's really
because the guys outside that can't do anything about it know what he looks like and could say that's the bad guy.
Yeah.
But John doesn't have that information.
Fact.
So we're sitting there going, "Oh God, this is just such a tense scene." But it's so brilliant.
For Nakatomi.
Well, it's already putting you unsettled because you're using this weird Dutch angle.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's trying to give you an unsettled
Things aren't-
sort of feeling.
Well, yeah, when they use that angle to go, yeah, it's not what you think it is right now.
Well, it's not
kind
even
of
that they're
films.
trying to force it. It's like they're just they're framing it in that way. It's like what's going on. And
Well, it's almost like they're giving the audience a hint of saying, hey, okay, listen, you're scared right now because you think John doesn't know that he's the bad guy.
Better than being caught with your pants down, huh?
But John does. And it's like you said earlier, Aaron, it's total cat and mouse.
Yeah.
it's like we're waiting for Hans' move. We're waiting to see what Hans is going to do.
Yeah.
Because we know what John's reaction will be.
Clay. Bill Clay.
Because you assume
On James Bond.
that John doesn't know right now.
Well, and it just showed us his inner workings. He's reading this. He brought him to the directory with all these names on it. So he's wanting to see if this guy is legit, like some resident of the tower. And he said one of the names. So.
Thing, Bill.
Well, also John's wife works there, and he probably goes, "I've met Bill Clay." Because this is he gives him the gun. But it was in that moment, like you said.
Oh wait, was Weasel's name Bill Clay? Was that who Bill Clay was?
I don't know. It might be.
Kommt.
He gave him an
No,
unloaded gun, though.
because the
Yeah.
guy
No, that was
introduced himself.
Harry Ellis.
Yeah, the guy
Oh,
introduced himself to Hans. Because John picked up on he saw his eyes move over his shoulder.
Right.
So he knew that he was looking at that list of names to come up with an alias. That after it's that moment when he says, "My name's Clay, Bill Clay." Then John pulls out the gun and hands it to him because he just needed to know for sure. And when he gave him the fake name, that's when he knew.
You gotta be on fucking.
Yeah, because he was just going through the steps. He was suspicious of everybody.
Plus, he could read through the
He
fake
probably
accent.
he doesn't remember seeing this guy at the party at all.
I don't understand why Hans would hesitate just to shoot him in the
why
brain.
didn't
right
Hans
now.
already pull
There's
the trigger?
already a body count. Just fucking shoot him in the brain.
I'm going to count to 3.
He let him
James
come up real
Bond.
close and everything.
Well, he also knows that John's onto him, so why? As soon as he realized, okay, John knows I'm lying, why he should have just immediately.
Well, that's the weird thing about these.
But that's the moment right there. That's the payoff.
It's like you think
When
I'm
you go,
fucking stupid.
you go, yay!
Clicks,
Okay,
yeah.
John knew the whole time. Thank God.
But the weird thing about Alan Rickman's character is that
works so well.
they start the movie out with him setting himself up as this terrorist who is against the Nagatomi whatever corporation because of the horrible things they've done in certain countries or whatever. But then it slowly unveils that he's just a thief. But he still.
That's such a great.
But like a thief would just shoot him in the head. Like if he actually was a terrorist who was fighting for like a political reason, then he wouldn't shoot him. He would want to, do his thesis or whatever before he dies.
Or grandstand posture, and plus, he's not just. Well, he has cold-blooded murdered 2 unarmed men so far in this movie.
Yeah, he has no hesitation.
Yeah, very cold.
So it's like, are they thieves? Or are they?
They're thugs, bro.
Well, don't call him a thief because he thinks he's far more than that.
They're just thugs.
Well, he got called a terrorist and he gets pissed off, right?
They're just very.
Well, she calls him a common thief, and he gets.
They're very sophisticated thugs.
Shoot the glass.
Fancy thugs.
Oh, he's telling him, hey, shoot all the glass out because bro ain't wearing no shoes, dog.
Yeah. Because he looked at him earlier and realized that he was barefoot. So. Pretty smart, Hans.
Watching this movie and breaking it apart, I never realized just how well done it was.
His aim is like, okay, if we can't kill him, we can slow him down. Because he ain't gonna run across that broken glass.
Yeah, but you don't run out of ammo, dog.
No, this is the 80s. They never run out of ammo.
That's true. That's true. Something funny. I've already established myself as a architectural connoisseur of sorts, and I will say that there are times
in this episode.
Yes, in this episode.
Okay.
But there are times when you can step into a building, high rise or not, and realize that it hasn't been redecorated since the 80s because it uses fucking glass and mirrors everywhere.
How's it architectural? That's interior design, right?
It's also architectural. Like when you step in an elevator and the elevator is nothing but mirrors, you're like, God, this is the most 80s shit I've ever seen.
Is the last resort of diplomacy. Then, couldn't we just as well say that terrorism has an equal claim on...
So everyone on the news is talking about it.
You got something. Tell me you got something.
That is the guy from
Claims
Ghostbusters.
name, badge number, employment record, vital statistics.
He just had a mustache and
home address. Right here in L.A.
The Ghostbusters was before this.
Yeah, he was an established actor already.
I said before he's been acting on TV and film since the 60s.
He did a bunch of. So where are we at in our running time? Tell our listeners, Zach, where we're.
We're at 1:38, 41, 42, 43. So we're in the third act.
Yeah, third act. Yeah, that's about right.
This is our Christmas marathon.
She's getting kind of horny for John. She's like, "Ooh, that guy's an asshole, but he's coming for me. He's gonna save me."
That is a real thing. Have you ever noticed, like...
This is one of those moments where you're like, fuck, look at that. That's a lot of blood for some glass.
You better heat up that
It's not like the glass was pointing straight up.
Well, feet and legs bleed a lot.
Yeah, because blood pools.
Have a look at what our friends
You pool.
Okay. Sure.
Man, it's our neighbors are getting a little loud right there.
There's a band playing downstairs, Tim. Wednesday
Oh, yeah,
nights.
I forget
Wednesday
it's
nights at the
Wednesday.
West. You
Yeah,
have
I
live
forget.
music.
That's right. It's not Monday.
Chalk up 2 more bags.
Don't tell him it's Wednesday. You're going to ruin the... It's Christmas Eve.
It's Christmas Eve, yes.
You know we got a pool going on you.
What kind of odds am I getting?
Well, no, now hold on. That might have... If you hadn't ruined that, Aaron, I believe Christmas Eve does land on a Wednesday. We could have pulled that off.
Hey, pal.
You got declo powers
No,
now.
Christmas
you have
Eve is on
calendar in
Monday.
your head.
No, this is the moment I was talking about, the quiet, dramatic, touching moment of the film.
Well, they already had that too, didn't they?
Yeah, this is their second little
Yeah.
sweet talk moment. It's just so funny because like
they're talking cop jive, you know.
none of the other cops like
Talking cop jive.
Man, you know, like the world is hard, man. You know.
Oh no, okay, no. I was like, okay, none of these other cops like are trying to talk to the one guy that's in there. They're just
So
letting
you're
this
the
guy
only guy
bullshit with him,
Yeah.
but they're all listening in.
Yeah.
They're letting him talk to him because he's apparently
Well, this is
the only guy.
exposition. He's like, you're
They
the
all
only
have
guy. You're the
radios.
only guy
It's the
that
only guy
seems.
John wants to talk
You're the
to.
only guy that seems like you know what's going on. So
Yeah.
why aren't you in charge?
He
You know?
seems he seems to
Everybody's
trust
idiots.
you. So yeah, keep talking to him.
Being a cop, except how to live with a mistake.
They are all listening in. Look, they all have headsets
Yeah,
on and
yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I was wrong. I jumped the gun a little bit. But this is where we get his
Hey, man.
backstory a little.
How could you know?
Yeah, he's talking about why he's so gun shy. You know, I mean, that is something that a few movies get really right when they're talking about this sort of thing. Is most departments, not just when you shoot somebody, but when you just have to fire your gun, like not even shooting somebody, you have to go see like the department psychiatrist.
You know IAB I mean? Comes in. Yeah, I mean, you gotta do a sit down filmed interview.
Let alone fucking shooting a child.
Talk about cop culture in the '80s before like there was any real talk about PTSD or any kind of like trauma or anything like that. Like they treat him like the other
like
cops,
he was inept.
Yeah, they treat him like he's a pussy or something. You know.
When I say IAB, Internal Affairs Bureau, that because they have to come in and investigate it. Anytime a cop fatally wounds somebody, whether it was
I think even just shoot somebody, they have to go to therapy.
You gotta go.
You gotta go check
mandatory.
In.
Well, but talking about like the fraternity of that thing is like what is that?
Hey, look. The guy in the hole. That's Art from the Burbs.
Mm-hmm. It is Art.
10 square blocks. 10 blocks.
And that's the guy. That's the mayor from Ghostbusters.
Well, okay, so you ever heard the documentary the 5'9" or what was it?
I don't know.
What? It was the 5'9" or something like that. It was about a cop in New York who started selling cocaine. This was in the 80s during the big cocaine epidemic, and one part of it is like, did you have to take training for like ethics or anything like that? He's like, yeah, we took it, but it was just a joke. Once the people who were in charge left, they say this is how you really do it. It's like during this time there was a lot of problems with, corruption in police officers and things like that.
Oh yeah, they confiscate a bunch of cocaine and then it starts to disappear little by little out of the
Oh, dude, it's a great documentary. Like, what is it?
I've never heard of it. I'll have to check it out.
It is amazing.
They got the universal terrorist.
There's still a bit of corruption, but it's not nearly what it was. I'm sure.
It's gonna go.
There's a lot more accountability, transparency now.
I'm sure.
There's Ode to Joy right there. That's such a beautiful musical.
The 7-5 is what it's called. It's on Netflix. Check it out.
So they got the utilities department to like cut the power, and when that happened, this vault opens. This is what they've been waiting for the whole time.
Seems like the big trick in the '80s was like if you just unplug it and then plug it back in.
Merry Christmas.
Well, it's like a security thing, turn it off, and then the security systems,
glitch it.
all the locked doors all open up,
Was
and
it
then you realize you're like, oh shit, this is what they're trying to get into, all this priceless
samurai armor from the Meiji era.
It belongs in a museum. I didn't notice that they just did the Dutch angle again there a second ago.
What are we gonna do now? Arrest them for not paying their electric bill?
We've shut them down. Let them sweat for a while, then we give them helicopters.
It's pretty smart to pull this terrorist act because when they like set it up as whenever they gave the cops terrorist demands, it automatically went to FBI jurisdiction because anytime there's like
federal,
it immediately does that, and they know that there's going to be like a transitionary period where they're like, all right, this is everything we know, and this is going to be like a bumblefuck.
Or
as soon as
there's no such thing. There's
no such thing as like state terrorism. It's terrorism against the country, not against the states. I don't think.
Special Agent Johnson of the
well, I mean, that's just like a jurisdiction. As soon as somebody starts talking about federal crimes or terrorism, they have to call the FBI.
No, don't they say that's their plan? Is they wanted to get to the FBI?
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're using the terrorism ploy, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's smart stuff.
Figure out what went wrong.
We have an FBI field office in Beaumont. Did you guys know that?
Yeah. They come to Thirsty sometimes, apparently.
Yeah, they do. I've seen one for sure.
Yeah, there's several people in law enforcement that frequent our bar, and it's nice to.
It is nice to have them
nice
there.
to know those guys. I give a shout out to our BPD.
I want you to do something for me.
It's nice to know those guys. We got a lot of good people.
I want you to find my wife. Don't ask me how. By then you'll know how.
They all know my face by now, so hopefully they won't put me in handcuffs anymore when I'm just doing my job.
I'm just doing my job.
I'm just doing my job.
This is another moment where he's almost about to cry right here, and
It took me a while to figure out.
it's not something that was common at that time in the 80s to see the tough guy hero actually
cry,
get emotional, and almost start crying.
Well, that's the 80s, man.
This
Well, it's like John
this was
McClane is a
new.
real vulnerable character.
That's why he's relatable.
And
That's
he's a
why-
hard-boiled cop, but like the whole time he's been
He's a good cop. He
he's
was a
been
horrible
making
husband.
He's been making
Yeah,
concessions.
absolutely,
No,
yeah.
even him showing up at her party and just trying to make concessions with her and everything like that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
he's-
he had good intentions when he showed up there. He's not.
Tell her that.
He's like, I know I fucked up. I made some mistakes, but god damn it, I love her.
Like me.
You think this is why he became a sex symbol? Is because like he's being badass butt crying in this specific time, and all the women were like, "Man, this dude, man, Bruce is like the hottest thing." Because he wasn't at this time. It really wasn't like pretty boys being a sex symbol. It was him. You know what I mean? Because earlier in the 80s, like mid 80s, a lot of androgyny, and there was like it was almost like that rubber band effect where it came back from like.
Well, yeah, that all started to change because there was James Bond, there was Rambo, there was Arnold, but then
Yeah.
you started seeing people like this that people could actually identify with.
Well, I don't even mean those
see
guys.
even
Like
character
a little
flaws
before this, like sex symbols were people like David Bowie. You know what I mean? Like very androgynous sort of things.
I mean, this was the late '80s.
And this was
Glam
like,
rock,
I mean,
like,
well,
kinda right
this
after
is
that.
this is a balding
All
a
the
balding.
glam rock and roll.
Yeah, this
Right,
is
exactly,
a balding.
yeah, yeah.
This is a balding cop in an
Totally,
era whenever
yeah.
hair rock was like the big thing.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's weird.
1 minute just to speak.
Well, I mean, this is like around the founding times. I mean, it's like the later transition from like just film noir detective stories into what we know as like action buddy cop
Right.
films. You know. And then what do we get out of the '90s as far as those style movies? Like,
I think every single decade or like sort of a generational thing is like a pushback from the next, like a response to the next, right? So
'70s. What was that? French Connection. French Connection.
No, that was in the
70s.
'60s.
That's '60s.
That's in the 60s. That's like
Late
68.
60s.
Yeah. But the 80s was like excess, you know, a lot of excess and spending and materialism and stuff like that. You know, Madonna literally wrote Material Girl. There was a lot of that. In the 90s, it became like grunge and counterculture and all that. So the late 80s and the early 90s was kind of a weird sort of a...
It's a weird transition.
It was a weird transition. Yeah, maybe people like got their minds straight and...
It was the beginning of the
Balding
computer
cops are
age,
cool.
too.
Yeah.
No, like French Connection was 71.
Oh, okay. I'm wrong. Maybe I was thinking of Chinatown or something.
Did you get that?
Yeah, Chinatown was pretty
Something
old.
about a double cross. Tell me about
I'm wrong a lot. Just to let our listeners know.
It's fine. I like being wrong because I hope that somebody would call us out, right?
We're both professionals.
Oh, here it is. He's like, motherfucker, you killed my brother. He was my brother, but we also had sex. It was a weird relationship. Don't question it.
It's called mutual masturbation. It's okay.
The Dutch rudder? They're not German, they're Dutch. They're doing the Dutch rudder. It's okay, I'm jerking off and you're jerking off, but our arms are touching. It's alright. It's okay. It's not gay, dude.
Gather your flock.
I mean, it's not gay if you're brothers, right?
Yeah, you're just helping each other out, right? You're just brothers helping each other out? Something like that?
So is there something you'd like to say to them?
This Christmas episode has taken a weird turn all of a sudden.
Everybody's got that weird family things.
Well, if
Around
you're a
this time.
Lannister,
Around this time of year.
maybe that's about.
Probably more than you thinking. The South.
We're not in the South. We're in Texas.
Second time I heard you say that. What do you mean by that?
I mean a lot by it. We're geopolitically
We're not really west. We're not
geopolitically
the
Texas.
Southwest.
We're not the Southwest, and we're not the South. We're
not-
Texas.
Yeah. I like that.
It's true. My college roommate was from Georgia, and it was the biggest thing we agreed upon. He was
Texas
like,
is not part of the South.
we were both vehemently like, he was like, yeah, Texas isn't the South because he's Georgian. And I was like, yeah, it's not because we disagreed on everything, but that was the only thing we agreed upon. Hey, yo.
So is it a lot of this is making me think about another kind of trope of action movies. There's almost like a series of boss battles. You know?
There's always like that big badass number 2 henchman.
Well, there's the main guy that's the climax. That's what you got to kill. But then there's the big badass. Yeah, it's just in Roadhouse. In Roadhouse, there was the weird homoerotic guy.
The main bad guy is usually.
So I used to fuck dudes like you in prison. That guy.
Yeah. Well, there's the main bad guy is usually his intellectual.
He's the power.
Yeah.
He holds. He's the power hierarchy. He's the top.
And then there has to be a physical.
Yeah.
Obstacle to overcome, which is the blonde guy. I still don't know his name. He has to kind of outsmart him because obviously, if John McClane got in a physical fight with Hans, he'd kick his ass. But Hans is smarter than him, so he has to use his wits to get Hans, but he has to have a. And that was definitely a trope in the 80s.
No, that's true. No, that's a trope all the time.
Well, still,
really,
that's characters like this. As soon as you see that guy, you're like, oh man, he's.
I wouldn't call it a trope. I'd call it a function of telling the story.
Yeah, he's gonna have to. You know, he was gonna end up having to have a fight with this guy.
But see, the way they presented that character in this movie is a lot better than they did in Roadhouse. You know, like they gave him his own. Like, you killed my brother. Like, he has his own story within this story.
Yeah, oh yeah. His motivation. Well, yeah, because now he has a motivation of like. Even if Hans was like, "Hey, that's not part of the plan. Fucking forget."
Yeah, that's why he's fucking up Hans's plans because he killed my fucking brother.
Yeah,
I'm gonna murder him.
Fuck you. No, my agenda now is to kill this dude that killed my brother.
And since I'm moving up to kidnapping, you should be more polite.
That was a total Alan Rickman.
Did he just try to karate chop him?
He just tried to karate chop him.
Who the fuck?
He even said hi-ya.
Who the fuck karate chops? They should have got a better fight consultant.
This is like when Indiana Jones fights the giant Nazi and Raiders outside the plane.
Oh, yeah.
The big dude that kicks his ass and then
karate chops.
Now, the last episode that we released on movie night at this time was Last Action Hero.
There's a part of that reminded me of the Nazi plane fight from Indiana Jones.
Wait, in this movie or
no? In a movie that we've done. I don't know.
Well, in Last Action Hero, there's two very clear references to this, and one is the little kid in Last Action Hero says, "No, like that whole like no, the bad guy's not dead." You know,
Dr.
like
Jones?
the little kid in Last Action Hero. He goes, "Remember Diehard?" He goes, "He thinks the guy's dead. He's hanging there from his neck, and then bam, he comes back at the end. You know, one last time." He's basically telling Jack Slater, like, no, go shoot him in the head and make sure he's dead kind of thing. The whole, like, the killer's not dead until you know for sure. And then I'll point out the other one, that it was a clear reference. But then they took the reference from this in Last Action Hero and Looney Tunes did up. I'll point it out later.
Get downstairs, all of you! The whole fucking roof is wired to blow! Get down! Get the fuck down!
Get the fuck down! You fucking idiots!
There's a mat in this movie that I've been looking for. Apparently, they say it's in the 30th floor shot. There's a matte painting it's like a 388-foot matte painting that they still
outside
own.
the window.
Yeah.
There was one earlier towards the beginning that definitely looked like a painting that was not real sunset.
Well, I'd read that and it's just like, can you imagine? Like they have to store a 388-foot painting.
It probably rolls up.
I wonder who they commissioned to do that.
Those are just stretch canvases whenever they do that.
I was thinking
the art director was.
I was thinking we'd mentioned that we interviewed, because the episode will come out the week before this, and we interviewed Randy Moore today.
Go ahead and say it, yeah.
Oh, John, what the fuck are you doing?
Not that we're performing on.
I think it got us tuned up for this episode. It was probably perfect that we did it on the same day.
Yeah, we've been productive today.
Of course, there's a lot of bonsais in this tower.
There's something wrong.
They put so many Asian stereotypes in this shit.
Blow the roof. The car's up there. Blow the roof.
Wasn't the 80s like the the late 80s was like the up and coming of like the Japanese mega corporations, you know?
Yeah, kind of. There was actually a movie that highlighted that. It was called Gung Ho with Michael Keaton.
Yeah, Michael Keaton. Yeah,
that was whenever
Japan
finally whenever Japan finally recovered from.
That was the car industry, and Japanese cars were becoming a lot more
their
popular than American-made cars.
It was really cool, and then
And this is the end of the 80s when throughout the majority of the 80s, bad guys were always Russians because the Cold War and everything. Especially all the James Bond movies and stuff like that. The bad guys were always Russian.
Well, I mean, honestly,
before that they were, German.
Okay, so the German thing it's not Russian, but it's also communist because they're probably trying to portray them as East German.
Yeah,
so
Soviet.
Yeah.
Well, this is one of the few movies I've seen that actually, like, Hans Gruber, he poses the terrorist in the beginning, saying that this Japanese corporation did horrible things at this point in time at this place, but like, it's probably one of the only few movies that I've seen where they've talked about that history of Japan and the horrible things they did. Like, Japan did horrible things to Chinese citizens whenever they were during the war and everything. Yeah,
well,
we're
in the
getting heavy.
80s too. I mean, companies like Sony and Nintendo and all these things were becoming very huge deals, which had not been in the past.
Japan's a pretty nice, happy-go-lucky country now, but they have a shitload of blood on their hands.
Some horrific things.
We chilled them out a little bit. Twice, I believe.
Christ. So when are we gonna do Akira? Speaking of,
I don't know, man.
Japan
Tokyo.
bombs.
I always wanted to do that movie.
Neo Tokyo.
Yeah, we've been talking about it for a long time.
We never thought about doing it.
I know. I feel like I made a what if image one time about doing that.
You know, if you want to blame anybody, you can blame PNY SD cards.
Send us some free shit.
I don't want to hear their shitty cards are the reason that episode didn't come
Keep
out.
your shit.
That's why we only use premium Sony cards.
No, we don't use Sony.
We use SanDisk. I was trying to.
Not SanDisk.
I was trying.
No, we use SanDisk Extreme.
I was trying to plug
Pro.
Sony because they're Japanese, dog.
I'm good.
I was trying to tie it together.
You got some?
What are we cheersing to?
The limo drivers of the world. For holding on.
Come on, we got something good that we can cheers to.
That we're basically at the last standoff.
Yeah, cheers to the final boss battle.
Cheers to whatever crew member had to rub Vaseline all over Bruce.
Keep him looking sweaty.
Hang on, honey.
Who was that lady out there? I've never just...
That's his wife. She was all covered in debris because of this explosion.
Dust. Okay, I thought it was an old lady. Shows you what I know. I'm not even paying attention to this movie.
This is when another thing, they're like, okay, obviously from the beginning, it's one of those set it up for foreshadowing or whatever. Obviously they had the limo driver waiting in his limo for some kind of reason.
No, he was waiting on John.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but the real reason was so that he could come and do this.
Right. Well, and also, he had a...
that was the reason. That was the opportunity.
He's got a TV in that limo. He's been watching it the whole time. I don't know if y'all saw that little scene where he's been watching all the news coverage.
Yeah, but you see what I'm saying. The reason...
I mean, but all these setups make sense.
He could have just dropped them off.
Right.
And there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
This movie is really well done. It's... I wouldn't
That's
even put...
a great shot right
I wouldn't
there.
put it on the same level as any cheesy, cult action film. This is just a really well done film.
With the lighting behind him and the
That is
sparks,
cool-ass
and
scene.
he's all... You can't see his face yet. That's a really cool shot.
Just fucking covered in blood and sweat.
She is.
It's like clinging to life.
So turned on right now.
Dude, I hate to tell you, but women love primal shit.
Oh, yeah. He's fighting for her. Look at that.
Yeah.
She's...
I mean, I don't necessarily think she's turned on right now. I think she's...
Well, obviously, but...
Probably pretty worried about the guy.
She's
probably right.
She's sitting there going, wow, look what he's doing. He could have just fucking hit up there all night.
We're talking about right after.
No, she's probably thinking that he's about to die because he's half dead.
Well, she's rethinking their separation, though. I can promise you.
Yeah.
No matter what's going on.
Well, we know how that turns out. So.
I'm just saying.
There's a little piece of her brain right there going,
people have more
"Damn,
thoughts
John."
than just one at a time.
I'm just saying that they probably ended up having great sex.
Oh, yeah.
For at least a month after this, and then the all that shit.
And then it
off.
falls back to shit again.
Yeah.
They have the best.
It's like, bitch, I just saved your life, and you're not going to move back to New York. You're going to stay an executive. Okay.
They have the best sex I've ever had for a few weeks, and then it just all turns to shit again.
You got me.
Actually, if you stay till the end of the credits, there's an after credits scene.
The cowboy again.
Like full penetration.
Well, let's hope.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah. Anal. I mean,
didn't we almost start this like that? Yeah, we started this whole session.
he finds the sleazebags coke, and he's like doing it off her tits and stuff.
we were talking about the porn stars that he dated in real life, unabashedly. Like, it was a public relationship. That's how badass he is. He didn't care. He was like, I'm not ashamed of shit.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker, his famous tagline. In the edited versions, when you watch this on TV, he says, Yippee-ki-yay, melon farmer.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, when you move your lips, the lips move the same way.
No, there's a couple of censors they do in the made-for-TV versions that are fucking hilarious.
Yippee-ki-yay, melon farmer.
I'm pretty sure they don't show people getting shot straight through the head.
Yeah, they probably cut that one out. That's a good shot, though, the crossover.
Because it's not motherfucker that makes it rated R, it's the violence. Because you can say
There's
fuck.
a lot of
Look,
blood.
guys.
You can say fuck once.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Christmas Eve. Christmas is almost here. You know what I think? I might time the release of this so that if you watch it whenever it comes out, this scene is going to be the 12 o'clock midnight hour of Christmas.
This beautiful slow-mo shot of Hans, they parodied this too in The Last Action Hero when Jack is hanging out the elevator and he falls in slow-mo and he looks at the thing he's holding on to.
So I know a little bit about this scene right here. That face
Beautiful
that he's
shot.
wearing is real. It's real because this is a real stunt he's got. He's on wires. And he was very reluctant to do it.
He looks legitimately
They
scared.
dropped him too soon, right?
Yeah,
He
it wasn't on top of the tower. It was in a sound studio, but
That looked like
he was,
that was
he was
a real
on
look of
wires,
fear.
and Alan Rickman was very, very scared, and he was like, "Listen, don't worry, we're gonna do it. You're in wires." Like they brought him up on it, like, "We're gonna do it on
We'll give you
3."
a count, yeah,
he was like,
dropped him on
1.
2.
Right as he said 2, he dropped him. So like that face was incredibly authentic. It was like,
oh,
and I never noticed this until earlier. It's snowing.
It is
for Christmas. It's snowing in Los Angeles.
Well, Merry Christmas. Hans has fell.
I think that
has fallen, and it's.
They had to have done that on purpose. All the paper is like snow.
I mean, now you know it's Christmas, you
It's
guys. Hans
snowing in
Gruber
LA.
has fallen from Nakatomi Tower.
It is officially Christmas.
It is officially Christmas. Merry Christmas, all, and to all a good night. I'm just kidding. We're not finished. Yeah, he's gonna get laid for sure. Like, totally. He's gonna have that like
that old fashioned like
bloody feet, and
like
all.
15 years familiar like fucking, you know.
Now, he's gonna have like a hospital handy at least, like at least.
Or he's gonna be like, "Yeah, you mad at me, but I know all that weird shit you're into."
Oh, yeah,
not even
girl.
that. Like,
how long's it been since you had that?
And then she's gonna be like, "Guess what? I've been working for a Japanese company. I picked up some new stuff."
I mean, he can kind
How
of
do you
what
feel
he
about
can
wearing
kinda,
diapers?
I mean, look, it sounds a little Me Too, but like he can kind of do whatever he wants at this point, right?
Oh yeah, he's got
How can she say no?
He's got a golden ticket for
Me too, Zach.
at
Me
least
too.
the next 48 hours. Like if he's ever wanted to try some kinky shit with her, now's the time.
Yeah, slip it in the, you know, yeah.
You know that one thing you've been asking her to do? Now's the time.
Go for it. Go for it.
This is like the best part too. Not to get away from weird shit, but like I always love
He
that
finally
scene.
sees the
He
guy
sees-
face to face.
He sees him, and he doesn't even have to fucking be like, "Are you the guy?"
He
They just know
knows.
each
I mean,
other.
they became
Yeah.
friends like almost instantly.
Yeah.
They're almost the
It's good
same
stuff. It's good stuff.
person, kind of in a way.
See, he was his buddy cop, and now he's his wingman. He's like, "Look, you got a good man here, girl.
Well, yeah,
you best,
he's
you best rethink your
he
life,
saved his
woman."
life. John couldn't have done that on his own.
Murder for one thing, property damage, interfering with police business.
Property damage.
Oh shit!
He's not done yet. And here we go.
Every dog gets his day.
Yeah, keep shooting. He's still on his feet. Camera comes into focus.
Whoa!
Who's not gunshot no mo?
And the music is so epic right there. Like, Jesus.
He learned to care.
He learned to kill again.
He learned to kill again.
It's all happy, but he's like, God damn, I need 8
He
more
immediately
months.
feels
I need
like
8 more months
shit.
of therapy
God
now.
damn
It's
it.
like,
Fuck. I quit.
That's a good face too. He's like, man. John's like,
Already,
hey,
man.
John's like, hey, bro, you got PTSD.
He's like, okay,
Just
put the gun down.
give me the gun, bro. Give me the gun.
Appreciate you saving my life, but
Yeah, let's take that from me real quick.
Mr. McClane, now that it's all over after this incredible ordeal, what are your feelings?
Classic
guy.
I love that in Die Hard 2, he's like kind of a C-list celebrity. Like people recognize him at the airport because
He got
the
punched
other the security guards and shit, dude. He's like, didn't you do that thing in L.A.? Because
Yeah.
it was like this is like a national news. This
yeah,
is,
oh yeah.
John?
Yeah,
McClane is
it's
kind of a celebrity,
it's like a little feature of the second one because this is like the OJ and the Bronco type of situation where it's national news. People are watching all this shit.
And the song that closes out the film is "Let It Snow."
Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Something so comforting about it being cold outside.
Well, you know,
snowing, asbestos ash.
This is the first time I've watched this movie. I watched it every year the last 4 or 5 years, but Merry Christmas, y'all. It's officially Christmas.
Merry Christmas, yes.
Let it snow.
I am officially in the Christmas mood.
When we finally kiss goodnight.
So what,
Wilhelm von
did this movie
Hamburg.
also
We
did
both
this movie
saw that
also
shit.
come out in
Me and Tim were both like, damn, that is the most German name I've ever seen.
All the way home I'll be warm.
No, this is funny. So this is as far as I know, this is another movie along with Gremlins that was a Christmas movie, anti-Christmas movie that came out in the summer.
Did this movie come out in the summer?
Came out in July 12th, yeah.
Wow, that's weird.
That is weird. That is weird.
They do not do that nowadays.
Oh look, the head stunt guy was Kathy Bates' husband, Ken Bates.
Yep.
That's totally a true fact.
That's a true fact. You just learned it here.
Guess what else?
Glenn Wilder. That's actually Gene Wilder's son.
That's Gene Wilder's son, yeah.
Every movie that we've done that's a Christmas movie has been a summer release. All the Christmas movies
Wow.
this month are summer releases.
Well, I mean,
Wow.
we're just really good at making a theme. I don't know if you guys know that, but we're kind of fucking brilliant.
First AD, second AD.
interesting
Art
to me.
director John R. Jensen.
Let's look him up.
Assistant art director.
Jordan Jensen?
John R. Jensen.
No, not Jordan Jensen. Not our friend, the wrestler.
Costumer to Bruce Willis.
All right, guys. Well,
I think we're gonna leave it at
I'm
that.
gonna pass it off. We always do this. Final thoughts.
Oh, guess what else that art director did?
What's Speed? Fuck yeah, he did.
Oh, good. Okay, what were you saying?
I was gonna say final thoughts. I'm gonna hand it to Zach. Just wrap it up for us, buddy.
Man, you know, it's an anti-Christmas movie. Is the penultimate anti-Christmas movie, and it kind of captures everything else that we've done and everything we've thought about what the anti-Christmas movie is. But it's a really good movie. It's a well done movie. The writing is good. The script's good. The shots, like everything is. I can't see too many gaps.
Yeah.
It's not too many holes and faults in it. I love it. I love it. It's perfect. It's great. That's all I got to say.
All right. Well,
And you, Aaron?
for me, I really like this movie as a Christmas movie because, like you've said and we've said a million times before, so I'm going to wear it out. But it is a Christmas movie, but anti-Christmas movie, mainly because it has zero commercialism in it. There's nothing that makes you feel like it's trying to sell you something. It doesn't.
Like no product placement. or anything.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It doesn't try to put you in the Christmas mood at all.
Yeah.
And it just makes me feel warm and fuzzy. It always has. I just like it, you know.
Yeah.
I like watching high stakes violence.
It's also
Christmas.
fun too.
And it's fun.
It's a fun, violent action.
That's for me. Merry Christmas, you guys. Tim, how about you?
Well, yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up and put a big old bow on it for you guys. This was Die Hard.
This is the last episode of the year.
This was a lot of fun. Yeah, this is the last one for this year. So we're gonna. We
Yeah,
hope
so we're
you
literally
have
putting a big
enjoyed
bow on it.
the last year. It's been about a year to the dot. I think you were saying earlier. So We hope you all enjoy what we're doing. Give us feedback. And with that, I will say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from your boys at A to Z.
From your boys.
See you next year.
You gotta ramp up the song.
Century City. So we're not gonna watch the penetration extra scene? Wait, you were joking? Really? Oh.
Fuck off.
Man, you're so good at that though.
You really thought there was full penetration?
I don't know, man. You know all the pop culture shit. Like I trust you,
Sorry,
and you lead me astray.